It's an overcast day here in Cleveland, Ohio, on the banks of Lake Erie. There's been a little bit of a mist that has fallen over the last half hour or so. This playing field is in absolutely gorgeous shape. It's unseasonably warm here in Cleveland, Ohio for an October day. And the Cleveland Browns have won the toss. They have deferred. Let's check in with Lisa Byington, who has more on Calvin Johnson. Lisa?
Yeah, well, Tom, I talked to the Lions head athletic trainer, Dean Kleinschmidt, who told me he doesn't give many players the freedom to decide if they're ready to go or not after pregame warmups. The one exception, Calvin Johnson. We gave him a smile and a nod this week, as opposed to being honest last week and telling him he's not good to go. To give you a feel on how different his warm-up was this week as opposed to last week against Green Bay, Calvin Johnson only ran one out pattern in the pregame warm-up last week. He did them all this week.
He looked really good, honestly, just watching him. We were watching him for about 20 minutes or so, and he stopped at one point. I think everybody held their breath, but it was because he was running the wrong route, so he had to do it over again.
Exactly. Matthew Stafford gave him the, well, what are you doing, 81? But they've got it worked out. You always watch for the skilled position athletes when they're dealing with a leg injury, or, you know, the football player would call them a wheel injury, the transition in and out of routes when they're having to stop, decelerate, accelerate. And you know what? As smooth as this big man is, it was fun to watch him just warm up today.
Billy Cundiff has it teed up at the 35. Michael Spurlock is back deep to receive. We're underway from Cleveland, Ohio, and Spurlock will take a step out of the end zone. And the Lions will begin first and 10 from their 20. And here comes Matthew Stafford, still young in football terms, is having an outstanding start to his season.
He really is. You know, you had the first 2 years full of injuries. You see the consecutive start streak there. This guy is growing and maturing every single week. You love what you see him do before the ball is snapped. He's really starting to understand what's going on in front of his eyes.
And Reggie Bush has certainly helped. Bush is the lone man in the backfield. Pettigrew is the tight end. We'll see a lot of him today. Fourier as well. Bush on his first run of the afternoon gets a yard to the 21. Let's take a look at some of the players to watch on the Detroit Lions offense.
Well, we know where they start. They're thrilled that Calvin Johnson's able to play today. Reggie Bush is that dynamic weapon that's a threat whenever he's on the field. And then Joique Bell, your backup running back, a thumper, great in protection, very good hands. They look to him a lot on third down as well.
Well, Bell is in for Reggie Bush at this point. Second down and 9 from the 21. Stafford first pass of the day, and it's complete to the outside. And we'll see some of Chris Durham this afternoon as he gets out toward the first down marker. Let's take a look at some of the impact players on defense for the Cleveland Browns.
Well, there's a number of them. And, you know, you don't necessarily see a lot of household names, but D'Qwell Jackson, one of the finest, most complete backers in the game. Very smart, instinctual. Joe Hayden, he's becoming that household name. A lot of talk about him being the guy that is the up-and-coming, the Darrelle Revis, the Richard Sherman, and then Tashaun Gipson. At corner, now playing safety. He's going to have to be a playmaker today.
Yeah, Ray Horton has talked about Tashaun Gipson being a lot like Ryan Clark. On third down and short, the Lions do get the first down.
Good hard run by Joique Bell. Listen, barely getting that. And this is where this Cleveland defense, led by Ray Horton, they pride themselves on the tough physical department. They're not going to give up a lot of yards running today. At least that's the plan going in.
T.J. Ward came up from his safety position to make that tackle along with Taba Rubin. Reggie Bush checks back in. It's first down from just outside the 30 for the Lions. Pettigrew in motion, three-man receiving crew on the right side. The handoff to Bush, who breaks the tackle and is wrapped up by Paul Kruger after a gain of 2. What kind of an impact has Kruger had coming over from the Baltimore Ravens?
Well, you know what? This is where I just love Ray Horton, the defensive coordinator. He is so good about putting guys in positions to really excel. Kruger is a tough, physical, kind of point of attack, outside linebacker in this base 3-4 scheme that they run here in Cleveland. You know, he hasn't had the sack total that he wants, but his impact is felt week in and week out. He's a hustle guy, over-effort, overachiever. He's been fun to watch on film this year.
What did D'Qwell Jackson say? He goes, oh, one guy has won a Super Bowl, and that's Paul Kruger, although Ray Horton has as a player and as a coach. Stafford has plenty of time and gets rid of the ball for first down.
This is the growth of Matthew Stafford. You know, even last year, you would see him force this ball. He really sits back there, goes through his reads, and you watch all the progressions until he eventually gets the ball out. He is moving left to right, one receiver, two receiver, and then finding number three. And this is the maturity. When you want to be one of those upper echelon quarterbacks in this business, or Brady or Breeze, that's the mental confidence that you've got to have, and he's shown it consistently this year.
Well, another first down. Both Bush and Bell are in the ball game. Off the fake to Bush, they dump it off to Bell, and he has some room up across the 50. It's a gain of 8 before he's tripped up by T.J. Ward. So it'll be second down for the Lions.
This is the beauty of Scott Linehan. Everything is misdirection. You want to get everything going this direction. You see the defense, they're all going to take off that way. You see Joique Bell, the fake to Reggie Bush. Everyone gets pulled around, and you get everyone deceived. You lie to them about what their eyes are seeing, and then it's a nice pickup on first down of 8 yards.
So second down at 2. We have not seen Calvin Johnson just yet. He's still on the sidelines for the Detroit Lions. The sweep goes to Bush, running right, and he's close to a first down. I think that second effort may have given him the second yard as T.J. Ward made the tackle for the Browns.
Well, you're going to hear that name, T.J. Ward, a lot today. Very active, very solid, consistent player in a lot of ways. He's very multi-dimensional. He can do a lot of things. Big interception last week versus Buffalo to seal that game. Good open field tackler. Ray Horton, a guy that TJ really likes because of the smarts and the aspects of the mental aspects that he brings to the game.
All right, Calvin Johnson in for the first time, one-on-one on the outside with Joe Hayden. We talked about this matchup today. It's first down from the 47. Stafford looks right the entire time, and his pass to Durham is incomplete. Buster Skrine in on the coverage.
Well, and we just saw earlier there that, they're not scared to put Joe Hayden one-on-one with Calvin. There wasn't really safety help over the top. Matthew didn't even look Calvin's way. He was looking Durham's way the whole time. Buster Skrine, tight coverage, right in his hip pocket. That ball just a little bit off target. That's one that Matthew Stafford probably like to have back. Put a little lower, down and away. Let Chris come up with that ball.
Well, he does have a good arm. Zip on
that. It's fun to watch.
Second down for Stafford. Looks like his second down. Clock is down to 5. On second down, Stafford looking to throw. His pass is complete inside the 40. So a gain of 8.
Good job again, Matthew being patient. Doesn't feel the pressure. Offensive line playing well. Despite Fox being out at right tackle, Corey Hilliard being in, replacing the starter Fox at right tackle. Good job by Matthew Stafford. Pinpoint accuracy. Good catch by Chris Durham.
All right, there's a lot of talk about wide receivers getting more into the action. Durham already has 3 catches now for the Lions, although we've seen Calvin Johnson a couple of times. Durham has been the focal point right now. On third down and 2. Broyles in motion. Stafford under pressure. Sidewinds it incomplete. It was intended for Broyles. Kruger was in on the pressure for the Cleveland Browns. Owens in on the coverage.
Well, and this is the difficulty of Ray Horton. DeQuell Jackson's kind of up at the line of scrimmage, baiting Matthew Stafford to think, hey, we've got multiple guys coming in pressure. Ray Horton only brings 4. Kruger comes off the edge, gets Matthew to have to slide up in that protection there, tries to sidearm that ball like he so frequently does, and was just off.
All right, Sam Martin on a pooch this one. Back deep to receive Devon Bess, and Bess will let it go over his head, and it bounces inside the 5. Excellent coverage by the Lions. Darius Slay after the 34-yard punt. All right, so one drive in the books for the Detroit Lions. We'll get our first look at Brandon Wheaton when we return.
Today's game is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com.
Cleveland, the Browns with their first possession of the afternoon with their backs up against the dog pound.
And that dog pound is live and in color. My first game ever, my rookie year, was here in the dog pound.
Brandon Wheaton under center. First down from just inside the 5. Willis McGahee has some room up the middle. A gain of 12 on his first carry of the day. Grover Quinn and Rashean Mathis make the tackle, and that is one of the focal points for the Browns, getting to the belly of the Lions defense.
Well, and you're going to see the separation. You're going to get this nice little hole in here, and it is just running. I mean, you see, excuse me, I draw it the wrong side, but that inside zone angle, they got separation, and this is what Willis wants to do. He wants his pads downhill, tough, hard, physical yards.
8,200 yards for his career coming in. Wheaton out of the shotgun for the first time on first down, has McGahee out of the backfield, and it's covered up nicely by the Lions. Ashley Palmer came over to make the tackle with Stephen Tulloch. Well, Brandon Wheaton obviously has been under the microscope over the last couple of weeks, making his 99th consecutive pass attempt without an interception.
Well, and that needs to continue. That streak today is highly important. This is a ball-hawking defense from Detroit. Turnovers, that's where they've been great this year. So Brandon Wheaton, smart decisions, manage the game as it comes to him.
Weapons, Little's in motion. The toss goes to McGahee. Has a blocker, but nothing's there. He's wrapped up from behind by Ndamukong Suh and a whole host of Lions. Nick Fairley was there. It's a loss on the play.
Well, here's Ndamukong Suh. Activity. Nick Fairley, Suh's here. You're going to see the pressure immediately. Penetration is what kills run games. And so you see a double. You see the spin move. It's not fair, Tom, for a big man that's 300-plus pounds to be this active in his feet, his hands. You saw the spin move that really creates trouble. They double-teamed him initially. He finds a way to fight through it, make an impact play there on second down.
So third down and 8 from the 19. Ogbonnaya is in the ball game for the Browns. Wheaton the throw in the middle, incomplete. Tulloch on the coverage, intended for Cameron, no flags.
Stephen Tulloch is when I say underrated, this is one of the Mike linebackers in this league that is always active. Stat line doesn't always show up. A lot of times he'll end up with 10-plus tackles, but this is a guy that makes the calls on their defense, always gets guys lined up, and his instincts are second to none.
Well, the defense outstanding after that first run from Willis McGahee. So Spencer Lanning on the punt for the first time, and Spurlock back deep to receive for the Lions. Gets this punt off with relative ease. It's a high kick, and Spurlock will return it from his 35. And he gets away from Marquise Gray and gets out of bounds. So Spurlock will give the Lions pretty good field position. Tulloch had a pretty good series for the Lions. Wheaton, not so much.
This game is sponsored by Bud Light, official beer sponsor of the NFL.
Excellent field position for the Lions with their second possession of the afternoon. Calvin Johnson is on the sidelines. He's played 2 of the first 10 plays for the Lions. Matthew Stafford under center. Pettigrew in motion. That's a storyline too for the Lions because of the injury to Tony Scheffler. Here's Bush running left, and he gets up close to the 49, so a gain of 7. Sean Gibson made the tackle.
Well, and this is what everyone said Reggie Bush couldn't do from his years. You'll see a down block here, and then you're going to see Reggie just getting this gap here, shoulder square. You see him hit the hole. Patience, good vision, understanding of setting up the scheme in front of him. You see the strong finish at the end, shoulder pads down, eyes up. Good running by Reggie Bush.
125 yards combined for Bush on average per game. And he was pretty disappointed with the way he played against the Packers last week. Stafford to throw. His pass is nearly completed to Durham through the middle, but Buster Skrine was in on the coverage. Little contact right at the last moment. It'll be third down for the Lions.
This is one that Chris probably wants a little bit back, but you know, Stafford sees him all the way. You see him out here on the edge. He's going to get in here. This deep crosser that Matthew Stafford's so good at throwing. Great job by Buster Skrine at the end, raking the hands through the ball. Just textbook DB play. Buster Skrine played extremely well last week on Thursday night. Picked it up here again today.
A third down and 3. This is where the Browns say they could be a little more creative. DeQuell Jackson said you built for these third down pass rushes, and the pass is complete to Pettigrew. Kruger was picked up at the last moment. A gain of 8 inside the 45 of the Browns.
Well, great job by Scott Linehan, but as great as this defensive Browns defense has been, third down has been their area of struggle. Rushing the ball, they're great. Pass defense, good. Points you like, but third down, when they get in those manageable situations against this defense, 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4, you know, they've really struggled to get off the field.
Well, first down for the Lions. It's their 4th of the afternoon. Off the play fake, Stafford to throw. Pass is complete on the near side to Ogletree. What did Stafford say about Ogletree? He said having a week of practice with him has made the chemistry a little easier between the two.
Yeah, and timing and rhythm, you know, for an offense that you'll see a quick little play action here. This is holding everything. You know, the Reggie Bush run before, you see DeQuell Jackson up in there. You see the other linebacking core, the defensive front, maintaining their lane distribution to stop the run. Play action is huge playing against a tough defense like this, and we saw an easy completion from Matthew Stafford.
Second down at 5. They spot the ball on the 38. Bell is in the backfield for the Lions. He'll take the handoff, starts left, works tackle right. He was able to get down to the 31. So it'll be a first down for the Lions. Let's check in with Kurt Menefee with a game breaker.
Well, Buffalo quarterback E.J. Manuel was injured in that game against the Browns last week, so Thad Lewis called up from the practice squad, takes it in from 3 yards out, and gives the Bills the lead over the Bengals 7-3 in the first quarter. Tom and Heath.
Well, there's no doubt that Thad was confident coming into the start this week. If you read any of his comments, I mean, he was amped for this opportunity for the Buffalo Bills.
Well, you just love seeing guys get their shot and then make the most of it. Shots in this business, they don't come around too often.
Well, the Lions have moved the ball well on their first 2 drives. No points to show for it just yet. On first down, Stafford to throw. To the middle, pass is complete to Johnson, who breaks 1 tackle and dives forward to the 25. Hayden in on the coverage. All right, so that's his first touch of the afternoon. He may not get many touches as the day moves on.
Well, they're obviously going to probably pitch count him to make sure that he is healthy and good. And if they can win without him, here's your ISO. It's man-to-man. It's just your simple crosser. And you're going to see a lot of this today. You saw Pettigrew come under, trying to rub Joe Hayden off his route. Those are those rub routes that everyone's running, those deep crossing. When you have a big, strong-arm quarterback that's laser accurate as Matthew Stafford is, you can get those all day long.
Stafford's used 5 different receivers so far. He's 7 for 10 for 54 yards in the early going. The pistol formation and the handoff to Reggie Bush, who's hit by Kruger but is still alive. And here comes the rest of the Browns defense. Well, he really fought hard for a couple of those yards. Joe Hayden and DeQuell Jackson make the tackle for the Browns.
Well, this is, when you call it just great individual effort, I mean, this is all the stuff you can't teach folks at home. I mean, spin move in the backfield, speed, stiff arm on Joe Hayden, the hand, the balance at the end to kind of put his hand down and get a few extra yards and fight for that extra few inches. Now you're 3rd and 1 instead of what would have been 3rd and 4 or 3rd and 5 on a negative run.
All right, Lions 2 for 3 so far on 3rd down opportunities. Reggie Bush 5 carries for 14 yards in the early going. He's out. Bell is in. Off the play fake, Stafford looking to throw, has time, throws off his back leg, it's incomplete, flags come flying.
Well, I think you're going to get pass interference. Looks like Joe Hayden.
Pass interference, 23, defense. Ball will be placed at the spot of the foul, first down.
We'll get to take a better look at it here, Tom. And, you know, Joe's one of those guys he is really starting to kind of get in his groove. You see 23, he's working up. You see Ogletree break out. You know, a little pull there out of the break. And here's the jersey you see. That jersey, anytime they see it.
It had to be the pull out of the break. There was no other contact before that.
It was. I think Joe got a little high in his hips out of the break, and when Ogletree stuck that foot in the ground, kind of caught him off guard.
Stafford for Johnson, who's held during the side of the end zone, and flags come flying. Now that looked like pass interference. Whether it was a catchable ball or not, that is up to the officials.
Everything is catchable when it's Megatron.
Yeah.
Pass interference, number 23, defense. Foul occurred in the end zone. We'll place the ball at the 1-yard line. First down.
Joe just gets a little excited here. You see it at bottom end of your screen. They're locked up man-to-man. There is no help. You see the size differential. And Joe starts falling down, starts pulling on that left arm. You know, Stafford knew it right away, knew where he was going.
Well, I guess as a quarterback, you have that advantage sometimes when you have a bigger receiver. You can get pass interference on a play like that. On 1st and goal, in and out of the hands of the diving Calvin Johnson. Well, he put some pressure on that knee. It looked okay on that particular play.
He got out of that break fast, but this is one that Matthew Stafford wants back. Here's your single again. Calvin beats him off the line. You know, the other angle.
65 is an eligible receiver. Number 65.
Dylan Gandy will come in as your extra, I'll call it tight end. He's an offensive lineman that's coming in down here in their goal line package, but the other angle, Matthew had that ball a little too far out in front of Calvin.
He's lined up on the right side. Dylan Gandy is off the back leg. Stafford toward the end zone. Touchdown, Fourier. His touchdown of the year, and the Lions jump out on top.
Well, I was going to give Joseph some love, but I think he's been taking his dance lessons from Scheffler. Scheffler's out with a concussion today. Fourier, the rookie out of UCLA. What a spectacular catch. But again, size differential. You know, this guy is every bit of 6'7". See him down here on a much smaller stature corner. He goes up, gets the ball. Beautiful ball by Matthew Stafford.
Well, the first drive was 10 plays. This one 9 plays for 58 yards. Yeah, that was just having a little more size than Botamosi to make that reception. David Akers on for the point after.
Johnson Botamosi owes me a few special teams plays today. He told me in practice on Friday he's going to make a few. So, listen, we've got a little dancing going on here in Cleveland. Joseph Fourier, the rookie, with another touchdown reception.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by the 2013 Ford F-150 with EcoBoost. By Wells Fargo. On your phone, online, on the go. Wells Fargo makes it easy to get banking done. And by Walmart. Save money, live better, Walmart.
Well, Matthew Stafford has used 6 different receivers so far, including his big tight end Fourier out of UCLA. He's got 3 touchdowns. He has 5 receptions this year.
I think he likes that average, but I think that kind of speaks to the development plan that they have the rookie on. Undrafted out of UCLA, height, stature, ball skills, but there's a lot more that goes into offensive performance than just knowing the playbook.
Well, figure out this dance, Heath, and let me know when we get back just
I can't help you, pal.
See if the Browns could answer, down 7-0. It's 1st and 10 from the 20. Quick pass toward the inside the numbers, incomplete to Josh Gordon. So it'll be 2nd down. Tonight it's game 2 of the American League Championship Series from Fenway Park as David Ortiz and the Red Sox try to avoid going down 2 games to none against Miguel Cabrera and the Tigers. American League Championship Series game 2 tonight following football, only on Fox. Anibal Sanchez was outstanding last night for the Detroit Tigers, the ERA leader in the American League. Now they'll give the ball, the Tigers will, to Max Scherzer. Lions show blitz. Sweep left to McGahee, and he gets up to the 25, a gain of 5. So it'll be 3rd down for the Cleveland Browns. Actually, it's
Chris Obanaya,
who was in for Willis McGahee.
Yeah, it was a good run. You know, little simple, just quick toss. You let Chris kind of get out there, read the offensive line in front of him. You see his production this season. Hasn't been a lot, but when he gets the ball in his hands, good things happen. Yeah, listen, as a fullback, a little lighter than Willis McGahee as he continues to play himself back into shape for the Browns. It'll be 3rd down, empty backfield. 5 receivers, Weed in the throw, pumps once, his pass is incomplete, intended for Bess. What do the Browns say? Sometimes he locks on his receivers a little too long, and that's what they like from a coverage standpoint. Yeah, well, you know what? These DBs are kind of watching. You're going to see Ndamukong Suh kind of circling here. Him and Ziggy Ansah running their game. Great job by Ziggy Ansah knocking off Mitchell Schwartz, the right tackle, and then Suh comes around. You see the speed again. That pressure. 3rd and 5+. Detroit, Jim Schwartz, Gunther Cunningham, their defensive coordinator, they'll be happy to have Brandon Weeden there all day long. So the rookie out of BYU, tremendous story. Spurlock back deep to receive. Lions have had good field position on their first couple of possessions. Spurlock with flags coming flying. We'll try to return this one. And he gets maybe 7 on the return. Botamosi makes the tackle after a 53-yard punt. And we'll see who the flag is against. I think we're going to have holding on our gunners out on this side of the field. You know, you get a double team. You're trying to hold up these speedsters running down the field to make the tackle, and I think that's what we'll have.
During the kick, holding number 32 of the return team. 10-yard penalty. 1st down.
Walt Coleman's been officiating games since 1989, making the call. Brandon Weeden, he's been under pressure so far in his first couple series. See the difference in play so far between the Lions and the Cleveland Browns. Brandon Weeden going over some things on the sidelines. Part of it is that Detroit has protected Matthew Stafford, which was a big question last week when he was sacked 5 times. Yeah, they gave up some sacks, and they were fundamental issues. They weren't necessarily breakdowns in the overall protection. It was just singular guys making singular mistakes. Stafford has 1 touchdown pass so far, and he'll just get rid of that one. Broyles was the intended receiver. Just as we talk about a lack of pressure He was pressured. John Hughes was in. So it'll be second down.
Well, and this is the maturity again. You see Matthew Stafford here in a second. He is going to take a hard pump, and then he's going to end up holding on to the ball. He sees the coverage shift in front of his eyes. Little play action. He holds on to it, doesn't throw a bad pass, and then he just tries to Brett Favre it to Ryan Broyles late. But that was an interception waiting to happen. Good decision making by number 9, Matthew Stafford.
So now a timeout is called with 2:29 to play.
Detroit, 30-second timeout.
So what do you think Stafford saw? Was it a personnel issue, you think?
Well, I just think it was traffic in the area. I think it was tight coverage. They're trying to get that quick slant to Ryan Broyles. And it was just that decision-making process maturity that I've just grown to love, seeing Matthew make those decisions this year. Because in years past, you know, a lot of times he throws it so hard the DBs can't catch it. But it's still, those balls get ricocheted up in the air, cheap interceptions. I just love the mental maturity. We know the arm strength. We know Calvin Johnson. You know, we know Nate Burleson when healthy. We know what this offense can produce. But as long as this quarterback and Scott Lanahan, they continue to grow together, this is a powerful, powerful offense.
You know, and Stafford talked about Calvin Johnson not being in the game last week, that maybe that had something to do with the 5 sacks because there was a little, his rhythm was off somewhat.
Absolutely. You mentioned the Ogletree. It was signed last week. You get guys playing that, you know, Stafford has no experience with. Everything slows down a bit, and that's not good for offensive production.
How about this? Michael LeSure in the ballgame for the first time, takes the handoff and dances around one defender and gets up to the 17. I don't want to say he's been in the doghouse of Jim Schwartz, but he hasn't played as much as he played last year.
Well, I think with Jim, it comes down to trust. And Reggie Bush has come in as a leader. He's shown his trustworthiness. Joique Bell, the guy that I had in our practice squad in New Orleans my last couple of years there playing, you know, has earned the trust of Jim Schwartz. And with Mikel, there's been these kind of spurts of greatness, but there's been too much lull in the action and too many mental mistakes that, you know, Jim Schwartz just not going to put up with.
800 yards last year and 9 touchdowns. He's out. Reggie Bush is back in on third down, and it's getting louder here in Cleveland. Stafford to throw. Pass incomplete, intended for Johnson. He wants a flag. Joe Hayden in on the coverage.
Well, and this is that Ray Horton defense. You know, he puts up a bunch of guys at the line of scrimmage. You'll see you've got really what Matthew Stafford wants. He's trying to read it. Barkevius Mingo coming off the edge along with other pressure, and then he just can't fit it in there to Calvin Johnson.
Well, Travis Benjamin has been a heck of a story for the Cleveland Browns. He's back deep to receive the first punt of the day for Sam Martin. Benjamin last week 179 yards in punt return against the Bills. And he'll get a chance to return this one from the 36. He went the wrong way to start. A clip frees him out along the 40. Buster Skrine will be called for that penalty if it indeed is a block in the back.
Well, and this is where that field position shift starts to happen. The Browns were going to have good field position for the first time to start their drive, and now with the 15-yard penalty that we assume is going to be marked off here.
During the return, illegal block in the back, 22 of the return team, 10-yard penalty, first down.
And this is where you go. You lose 15 yards of crucial field position. Instead of starting at that 35, 36-yard line, you know, now we're moving right backwards.
All right, we talked about Brandon Weeden, how he has been a topic of conversation. How about 41 starting quarterback changes in Cleveland since 1999?
I know one thing, that's just way too many.
That's an awful lot. I mean, for any team, that's an awful lot.
Well, Brandon Weeden, I guess I'm not sure how many times he'll count in that 41 number because he started the season and then was benched and now, or injured, benched, and now he's starting again, but still way too many numbers for any consistency.
How about some of those names? Seneca Wallace. The pitch comes to the near side for Benjamin on the end around. He's got some room. He's inside Detroit territory, and he's tracked down at the 30-yard line by DeAndre Levy. 45-yard run for Travis Benjamin. We said he was a topic of conversation here in Cleveland because he is exciting.
Well, and you can't coach speed. I mean, he is just so explosive and fast. They get the misdirection going. They get Travis Benjamin coming right back around the edge. You see him set up blockers. It's not just speed. He's pressing the edge, setting up the blockers down the field. And lucky, DeAndre Levy was able to run him down. And listen, the youngster out of Glade Central, South Florida, this kid grew up in my 7-on-7 camp, Tom. What a phenomenal athlete.
Well, he's had a good couple of weeks. 45 yards. The first 7 plays were just 20 yards. Passes complete to Bess. After a gain of 8, he's knocked out of bounds by Ashley Palmer.
So, well, this is a great job again by Norv Turner. We saw, I think, more of this with Brian Hoyer. You know, now we get Whedon. He's a big athletic quarterback. We know the strong arm, but you get him on those boot and those play action passes, and that's where he can kind of get his eyes down the field, see the field better, and this is where he'll have success today if they can continue to move that pocket for him.
McGahee in the ball game, in motion. To the far side is Greg Little. The handoff to McGahee. And he's wrapped up after a short gain down to the 17. Devin Taylor made the tackle, a gain of 3. And the Browns for the first time into the red zone. And that'll be the final play of the first quarter here in Cleveland. So 7-0 Detroit, but the Browns are moving the ball. Fox NFL Sunday will return after these messages and a word from your local Fox station. Remarkable how one play or one player can really turn the tide of a game, at least in this first half. Travis Benjamin's run of 45 yards has set things up for the Browns. They're in the red zone for the first time today.
Well, you see Rashad Baker, the offensive line, back in there for protection as well. They're heavy personnel, 2 tight ends, and then actually you bring in a big offensive lineman to help out as well.
Whedon overthrows Barnage as backup tight ends. Now, he had some time. He did dance a little bit in the pocket, but he did have some time.
Well, that's the one that you kind of like. He doesn't shuffle his feet. He slides, progresses up in the pocket, and that's what you want. But when Brandon gets happy feet and feeling pressure that doesn't exist, that's where he'll start to make some bad decisions. So far today, seen it a little bit, but no overly crucial bad decisions.
So those numbers, here's the Wildcat. It goes to Obanaya, and Obanaya goes downhill across the 15, a gain of 2. And it'll be 3rd down. They need to get across the 7 for a first down.
This is where this game is really strength on strength. If you look at Detroit's defensive numbers overall, hey, the defense isn't that good. You know, 24th ranked total, but in the red zone, 3rd down, they're outstanding. And then the opposite side of the field for Brandon Whedon and this Cleveland Brown offense, their offense isn't all that great numbers-wise, but in the red zone, not as many trips as they would like, but they've been very effective scoring touchdowns when they get down here.
Bobby Rainey in for the first time for the Browns. Whedon out of the shotgun, looks left, throws left, passes complete left to Gordon. He has the first down and is down to the 5-yard line. Rashean Mathis with the tackle. It's a 10-yard gain. And there's the arm strength that Whedon talks about and his teammates talk about when he gets his feet set and zips it out.
Well, and this was an easy look for Brandon. I mean, he gets out the ball quick. He knows right where he's going. He sees Mathis on Gordon. What a great job by Rashean Mathis to get that open field tackle. A little help there in the end, but Josh Gordon's a big man to bring down one-on-one.
Obanaya is in as the fullback in this I formation. A little traditional setup for the Browns on 1st and goal inside the 7. The handoff goes to Willis McGahee, who gets down inside the 5 to the 4. So gain of 3.
Nice little gain here. It's a little quick toss. They're trying to get the fullback up in the hole. You know, it's this action here, but I want you to watch Willie Young set the edge here and turn this play back in. You know, Mitchell Schwartz, he compresses the hole. This game could have been a lot bigger if Willie Young hadn't squeezed that hole, pushing Mitchell Schwartz back into that hole that the running back is trying to get through.
That's that wide 9 technique that Joe Thomas, the offensive lineman for the Browns, talks about, how they spread it out on the edge.
Right. And that's where
downhill.
And that's where offenses try to attack. They try to get in what's called the C gap in between that tackle and guard. And easy touchdown throw for Chris Obanaya by Brandon Whedon.
Obanaya with his first touchdown reception of the year for Brandon Whedon. It's his 3rd, and the Browns are a point away from tying this ball game up.
Well, I'm not quite sure how the Detroit Lions defense lost Obanaya, but he's going to come through here. It is very easy. A little play action for Brandon Whedon. I'm not sure who has him in man coverage. Obviously a busted coverage for Jim Schwartz and the defensive front, or defensive line, excuse me, the defensive backfield, excuse me, for the Detroit Lions.
Billy Cundevant for the point after 10 for 10 so far this year. And his point after is good. So we're tied up at 7. Just under 13 to play here in the first half after the second career touchdown reception by Chris Ogbonnaya.
On Fox is sponsored by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you gotta get DirecTV. By Bud Light, official beer sponsor of the NFL. And by KFC, the official sponsor of Couchgating. KFC plus football equals Couchgating.
Take a look at some of the numbers overall, and they favor the Detroit Lions, but we're tied up at 7. Calvin Johnson hasn't really gotten in the swing of things just yet. Reggie Bush has played an awful lot so far in this first half. Lions will get it back with 12:52 to play here in the second quarter.
The only stat that matters, Tom, is points.
Well, we heard that a lot this week, didn't we?
Absolutely.
Spurlock back deep to receive, and that ball bounces right on past him. So the Lions will take over first and 10 from their 20.
Well, we go back to this touchdown. It's a simple play action, and you get the running back out. But I want you to watch Levy and then Delmas. Delmas is going to come in here, and there's a little bit of confusion over who has who. And as this play rolls out, the play action starts to break down. You get the ball fake to Chris Ogbonnaya, and then we see Delmas and DeAndre Levy kind of, what's going on, who's looking at who. So you see these guys looking at DeAndre. I'm not sure who to blame, but someone messed up.
How much of that was Josh Gordon coming on what looked like a post?
Well, Josh demands a lot of attention. That big body there in the red zone. Eyes are there, but I think that was just a mental breakdown.
On first down, Stafford to throw. Pettigrew, the tight end, gets 4 up to the 24-yard line. Craig Robertson, who is the second leading tackler for the Browns, makes the tackle there.
Well, Robertson's very, very active, a very skilled linebacker, fast, athletic, good instincts, and honestly, still a lot of room to grow. I mean, this is a North Texas product in his second year, and Ray Horton is a guy that he's really, really high on.
Former option quarterback in high school is Craig Robertson. That was a big quarterback.
Yes.
Second down at 6. Brown showing a little blitz from the far side. Stafford to throw, incomplete. Tried to thread it to Ogletree. Screen in on the coverage. It'll be third down.
Well, this is where Ray Horton, the defensive coordinator for the Browns, wants to be. They brought in a lot of talent throughout the offseason, and Ray Horton knows how to put them in place. And so you get this 3rd and 6 situation. You mentioned earlier, Tom, that they want to play great defense on 1st and 2nd, so these guys can earn the right to rush the passer on 3rd. We'll see what Ray Horton dials up in one of his exotic schemes on 3rd down to try to frustrate Matthew Stafford.
16 pass attempts so far for Stafford for 59 yards. Calvin Johnson is in, covered by Joe Hayden on the near sideline. Stafford setting up the screen, nothing doing. Pocket closed up pretty quickly, and Bell could not even get close to the football to be 4th down. So back-to-back 3 and outs for the Detroit Lions.
Well, that's not what they want. And so, it wasn't that difficult of a pressure. Both Bryants got in there. And then Desmond Bryant as well as Armani Bryant, applied this pressure. And now they've got to punt to the oh-so-dangerous Travis Benjamin.
See what he did last week, most by an NFL player since 2004. Benjamin, with flags coming flying, will take it at the 24. And he goes the wrong way again, and he's wrapped up inside the 15.
Looks like we are going to potentially have a roughing or running into the kicker.
Well, Sam Martin certainly sold it well, so that's why I don't know if it's roughing or running in, because it looked like it was just running in.
These punters, they got to get an acting degree along with their punting degree. Let's see what Walt Coleman has to say.
There we go.
Number 96 of the defense. That 5-yard penalty will be added on to the end of the play.
Well, Paul Hazel is called for the penalty. Rob Chudzinski not happy about that. He's probably not happy that Travis Benjamin went the wrong way on this punt, but the Browns will have it back when we return. And now, everybody, meet your Fox Tuesday night starting lineup.
Seth Green, Dads! Yeah! Jake Johnson, New Girl. Ike Barinholtz, the male nurse on The Mindy Project. Yeah! Terry Crews, Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Yeah!
All new comedy starting Tuesday at 8/7 Central on Fox. Terry Crews, yes, he does look like he played football because he did in the NFL for a couple teams, including the Rams and the Philadelphia Eagles.
Looks like he can still play a little bit.
All right, what about Brandon Weeden so far? I mean, he's got this game tied up at 7, which is the important part. He's 4 for 8. They haven't done a whole lot, the Browns offensively, to affect him either way.
Well, I'd say he's picked up where he left off last Thursday night versus Buffalo. He's not making mistakes. He's taking what's given to him. He's right there at 50% completion percentage, and that's really where you need him to be. Consistent ground game between these running backs for the Cleveland Browns, Obadiah, McGahee. Keep him comfortable would be the key.
Obadiah in the backfield with him on first down from the 15. He'll throw, pumps once, throws long, has a man, and he overthrows Benjamin.
Which I would say is hard to do, but I think you look at Travis, I think he's trying to settle down in between the corner that was in him, or had him in coverage, and then the safety coming over the top. And this is one that Brandon has to kind of stick in between the window, between the corner and the safety.
So we asked Brandon about being designated the second string quarterback after Hoyer took over. He said, did you do anything differently? He said, no, I just tried to do exactly the same. My preparation was exactly the same. I just tried to be a good teammate. Getting another opportunity. It's second down off the screen. Obadiah breaks one tackle along the sidelines, and he's got a first down. Shoved out of bounds by Nick Fairley. It's a gain of 9, they say. So it's a yard for the first down. Let's check in with Joel Klatt with a game break. Joel?
Thank you, Tom. We go to Buffalo, Cincinnati, and the Bills. And Giovanni Bernard, nifty little run after the catch. And the Bengals are up 17-7 in the second quarter. Tom.
All right, Joel, thank you very much. The Bengals find themselves at 3-2 in the AFC North, along with the Ravens and the Browns. It is a logjam atop with the Steelers still winless as Weeden is hit as he throws. Pass is complete to Gordon at the 40-yard line. Boy, he took a tough hit from Ashley Palmer as he let that one go. It's a gain of 16.
Well, this is your typical, I guess, multiple levels. You're going to see Cameron, your tight end. You're going to get Gordon out here. It's just a levels concept on third down. Trying to look for the tight end quick. They zone that off. And then this big body, Josh Gordon, getting through there. Good placement by Brandon Weeden. Good toe tap by Josh Gordon.
So it's first down at the 40-yard line. Gordon, who missed the first 2 games this year because of the league suspension. 19th reception on the season. Been a lot of talk surrounding Josh Gordon. Off the play fake, Weeden to throw. Has time, steps up in the pocket, tries to find Cameron. And we have 2 players locked up. It's going to be Cameron who makes the reception. A gain of 14.
This is one where, Brandon, you like the decision to find Cameron. But all in all, this is one you want to dice in there a little bit harder, because you'll see here at the end, the flying in. This is almost a simultaneous catch by Louis Delmas, and that one will always go to the offense in the umpire's eyes. Again, here's the back angle of what Brandon saw. You know, you want to stick that on the chest, not extend your receivers out in coverage.
What a story Cameron has been. Obadiah takes the handoff, breaks the tackle, gets 7 inside the 40-yard line. Bill Bentley made the tackle. It'll be second down and 3. Let's say that's Willis McGahee.
And this is I think the veteran presence and mindset of a Willis McGahee. You know, he understands what he's doing. You see the patience, you see the little tiptoe back in there. He's literally, what he's doing in that kind of tiptoe, when I say that, is he is putting defensive linemen on his offensive line, really creating a hole for himself to walk through.
On second down, he'll get it again. He tries to go right, is hit behind the line of scrimmage and take it down for a loss of 1. Stephen Tulloch made the tackle. Also, Ashley Palmer was there.
Those are the plays where you really get to see the speed of this Detroit Lions defense. Not just the defensive backs and linebackers, but this defensive front. They run, and they tirelessly run. And they're fast, they pursue to the ball. And I think the one thing that Jim has really been able to coach this defense extremely well on is angles. You don't see a lot of over pursuit by this Detroit team. They're well coached, and they're really starting to take on the disciplined nature of their head coach, not making some of the mistakes they've made in years past.
A pretty good combo between Jim Schwartz and Gunther Cunningham. Weeden the throw. He's hit on third down. The pass is intercepted at the 20-yard line. DeAndre Levy is down inside the 20 for the Lions, and Ndamukong Suh was applying the pressure.
This is what you call team defense. Then Ndamukong Suh, edge pressure, and then look at this athletic play by a linebacker. DeAndre Levy, it doesn't get any better than that.
This game is sponsored by the Samsung Galaxy Note 3 and Galaxy Gear.
I love complementary defense. You see Willie Young, he's going to eat up this block, creating a one-on-one with Suh and Mitchell Schwartz. Suh gets in there, applying the pressure, making Brandon Weeden throw a ball that he wishes he could have back.
Well, and it gives the Lions the first turnover of the day. Off the handoff, it goes to Reggie Bush, and he's hit behind the line of scrimmage by T.J. Ward. It's a loss of 2 on the play.
And earlier in the game, I talked about the instincts of T.J. Ward. Watch this penetration here. He knows what he's seeing. He reads the scheme of the offensive line, and then Reggie Bush never has a chance.
So a loss of 1 officially on 2nd down and 11. Stafford to throw to the far side of the field. Durham with a leaping grab.
Chris Durham just said Megatron who, folks. This was a beautiful ball that we see all the time from Matthew Stafford, but Chris Durham, wow, wow, wow. The timing of the jump, everything he did was just spectacular.
Well, it's a 24-yard gain. It's the longest play of the day for the Detroit Lions. It brings the ball out to the 40. Bush will run, goes left, steps inside, nothing doing. Wrapped up immediately and taken down by John Hughes and Craig Robertson.
Big John Hughes, and this defensive front is spectacular. But if you go back to this Chris Durham catch, the timing and the rhythm, you always see wide receivers or tight ends or even DBs jump too early or too late. Just a thing of beauty by Chris Durham.
That could be the one on Fox Sports Live. Either that or DeAndre Levy's interception. Both were athletic. Stafford's in trouble. Everybody was covered downfield.
Look at Matthew Stafford avoiding Barkevious Mingo, the first-round draft pick of the Cleveland Browns, known for speed and athleticism. Matthew Stafford is not. You know, Mingo wishes he could add that one to his sack total. Matthew, the wily veteran, kind of gives him the soft shoulder. Lets Kiki Mingo just slide off. I love some of the things we're seeing out of Matthew Stafford.
Mingo, the first-round pick for the Browns, started today with Sheard being inactive. It's 3rd down from the 41. Here comes Hayden from the near side. Stafford gets rid of it. Calvin Johnson steps in front of the defender and then drops the ball. It's incomplete. T.J. Ward may have jarred it loose after Johnson stepped in front of Tashawn Gibson.
I love the catch, and obviously we like the big splash plays at home by Calvin Johnson. You see him. Matthew knows where he's going. You see the coverage, and then Calvin just makes a great adjustment. But I love what sets up the thing, and that was George Bell. He comes over in protection, really kind of handles that, and obviously they ruled that an incomplete pass.
So now on 4th down, Benjamin looks at the coverage. He calls for the fair catch at the 16. So we're even at 7 with 6:38 to play here in the first half in Cleveland. Coming up next on Fox, it's America's Game of the Week as Drew Brees and the Saints take on Tom Brady and the Patriots, or Larry Fitzgerald and the Cardinals head to San Francisco to battle Colin Kaepernick and the 49ers. Our Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader continues next, right here on Fox. Well, the last 4 possessions for the Cleveland Browns, it includes the touchdown to Ogbonnaya. Not a whole lot else, though.
No, it's been that one. I want to call it a mistake by Weeden on the interception, but just a spectacular play by Levy on that one.
Well, Weeden to throw, and his pass is incomplete. Thrown to the middle of the field. Flags come flying. They didn't really come flying. They were dropped out of the official's pocket, but it then came flying. It was intended for Greg Little.
Well, and it's Darius Slay that's on the coverage. We assume this will be pass interference by the flag was thrown by the side official. I know one thing, this dog pound erupted
Pass
early.
interference, number 30, defense. Ball be placed in the spot of the foul. First down.
Darius Slay, who is going to exchange uniform tops with Joe Hayden after this game comes to a close.
Well, yeah, he grabs him a bit early. I almost think there might have been contact or some tugging once the ball was in the air a little bit before that break. The side official threw that quickly, and I'm not sure he would have had the viewpoint to see that little tug on that right arm of Little's.
Well, obviously a big penalty because it's an automatic first down, but it's a gain of 23 on the penalty. So on first down, Whedon to throw again. Dancing around the pocket, he's going to keep it himself. He's not known as a scrambler, and he slides forward, a gain of 9.
And Brandon actually had good protection. It's funny, the play action, you'll see the different cross effect in the backfield. It's not as smooth as you'd want it. It's not having the effect on Detroit that Norv Turner means it to be. But, you know, Brandon could have stayed in there. It's a good decision to pop up and run for 9 yards. But that's one where you want Brandon to feel that pocket a little bit better. Run when you have to. He had good protection there by his offensive line, Alex Mack and the crew.
Do you think he's heard all the talk about his decision making?
Well, anytime that there's coaching and critique, it takes effect on your mental aspect of the game. And so he's just trying to make plays, and so far so good.
Willis McGahee, he has a first down for the Browns. Let's check in with Joel Klatt with a game break. Joel?
Thank you, Tom. Another AFC, NFC North battle. And Green Bay without Clay Matthews coming up big on defense. 4th and goal, stopping Bernard Pierce. And the Packers still hold a 3-0 lead in the second quarter. Tom.
All right, Joel, we appreciate that. That's a heck of a ball game going on in Baltimore. It's a first down. We've got a good one here. It's been raining lightly in Cleveland throughout the start of this game. We're tied at 7. Browns with 95 yards on the ground so far. I said before, they're kind of controlling their offensive tempo. On first down, Whedon to throw, and his pass is complete to Gordon at the 25. Chris Houston in on the coverage. Gain of 18. Now that was a pretty pass from Brandon Whedon.
Well, and this is where Brandon thrives. The big arm, the strength of this quarterback. He's a big man. You know, Josh Gordon, you'll see him. I mean, he's going to get in here. It's these deep crossing routes that Brandon loves to throw. And when you're as big and as physical, I mean, I'm not sure Chris Houston, he gets turned around there a little bit, but good timing, good rhythm by both Josh Gordon and Whedon.
Bobby Rainey into the ball game for the Browns, and it's also Marquise Gray, the former quarterback at Minnesota, now a tight end on the Wildcat. We saw that a couple times in practice this week.
We did, and they're high on the athleticism of their backup tight end, as you said, a former quarterback. And it's more of this zone read that we're seeing across the league, and that's how they're getting people. A little indecision for the Detroit defensive line, and then you get him going the wrong direction. Marquise puts his foot in the ground. Nice game.
All right, now Gray is the 3rd string quarterback. He's the emergency quarterback for the Browns. Bobby Rainey stays in the ball game. Barnidge in motion. Here comes the pressure from the near side from the Lions, and it's Willie Young who wraps up Rainey as he gets to the line of scrimmage. It'll be no gain. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
Well, and we're back into this red zone area. Last time we saw Cleveland walk away with a touchdown throughout the course of this year. This Detroit defense has been very steady down here in this end. Jim Schwartz could care less about yards, could care less about really what goes on between the 20 and 20, but he wants his offense scoring touchdowns in the red zone, and he wants his defense holding teams to field goals, and they've been good. First trip today, you know, we saw our little running back, Chris Ogbonnaya, catch a nice ball from Brandon Whedon to get in there and score.
McGahee in the backfield, Whedon out of the shotgun on 2nd down. Pass is complete to Barnidge, and Barnidge gets down to the 6 with forward progress. And it's a gain of 8. It'll be 3rd down. Levy and Houston make the tackle.
Well, you see Gary Barnidge right here. It's just a little stick route, and he's going to read man zone. Brandon's going to feel it. Again, you see Barnidge just kind of settle in that little pocket of the zone. Good pass by Brandon Whedon. Again, decision making, and it's never more crucial than in the red zone. That box, that defensive box gets compressed. Everything happens at a more accelerated rate, and that's where things can get really tough for inexperienced quarterback. Good decision by Brandon Whedon.
Folks have talked a lot about John Embry, the tight ends coach for the Browns, the kind of effect that he has had, not only on Barnidge, but more importantly on Jordan Cameron, as
First team timeout.
the Browns call timeout.
Cleveland, 30-second timeout.
So 2:21 left to play here in the first half, and we're tied at 7, and the Browns now with 194 yards of total offense. Rob Chudzinski in his first year, talking to Joe Banner the other day, the CEO of the Browns, who's over from the Eagles. I asked him, I said, what was it about Rob that caught your eye? And he said, well, any good manager always has a list of guys in the back of their minds that they would use to take over for their head coach. And Joe Banner said that Rob Chudzinski has been on his mind, on his list for a long time.
Well, and Rob does it the right way. Obviously, the offensive coordinator over there in Carolina comes in as the head coach, and what does he do? He really fell into a lucky pool of coordinators. I mean, you get Ray Horton on defense, and then you have the ability to get Norv Turner, one of the greatest offensive minds in this game. And it really allowed him to be the head coach of special teams, defense, offense. He's an offensive guy himself as a head coach, but he's really kind of dispersed his knowledge amongst the whole team and not just on offense.
Well, off this timeout, it's third down. Obadiah takes the handoff and is hit at the line of scrimmage, but dives forward. Stephen Tulloch makes the tackle, but I think he may have the first down. All depends on that spot. And the Browns know something about spots.
Looks like he needed to get to the fourth, and Brandon Whedon's given us the first down point. We see Chris Obadiah hoping that he got just enough for it. It always depends on whether that official gives you the right foot or the left foot spot. On this end of the field, that right foot spot would give you a few more inches. And bring the chains out, Tom, and we'll see what we've got. Our yellow line is unofficial, but it's normally pretty official.
No, it is a first down.
Game of inches.
Rob Chudzinski used that particular shot right there as a point of motivation after his team had lost its first two ball games. They had an opportunity for a first down on a pass to Jordan Cameron that was literally the foam of the chains shy of being a first down, and he used that, saying basically that even your best is never enough. Try that extra.
It was literally a centimeter.
Oh, the 2-minute warning here in the first half, tied at 7.
Today's game is sponsored by Visa, proud sponsor of the NFL. Visa, turning football fantasies into reality.
First and goal for the Browns. The ball sits at the 4-yard line of the Detroit Lions. Lions scored first. The Browns then got a touchdown pass to Obadiah, and now they're threatening again with 2 minutes to play in the first half. Willis McGahee is in the backfield for the Cleveland Browns. And Whedon was able to get the Lions to jump. And Dominican Sue was the first one to jump.
Well, this will be an easy call for the officials. I didn't see any movement for the Cleveland Browns. And it's interesting, last week.
Offside, 90, defense. Half the distance to the goal. Still first down.
Then Dominican Sue gives him an extra yard or two. And you'll see him. I mean, this is his big rear end right there, and he just jumps off sides. But, Brandon Whedon last week, Kyle Williams plays the same position as Sue for the Buffalo Bills. 2 false starts, or excuse me, 2 encroachment penalties last week. The hard count of Brandon Whedon, you hear it from up here. It's very loud and very distinctive. I think it gets these defensive linemen going.
And different than Brian Hoyer, too.
Yes.
First and goal from the 2. Same formation for the Browns. The handoff to McGahee goes right into the pile. And nothing doing. Let's check in with Lisa Byington, who has an injury update. Lisa?
Yeah, guys, you won't see the Lions quarterback, Rashean Mathis. He's actually been out. He has nowhere near his helmet here on the sideline. Hurt his groin, and midway through the second quarter, he has not participated in this entire series. The Lions tell me that his return is questionable.
Boy, he had a great career with the Jacksonville Jaguars, 30 interceptions, which is a Jags record.
Yes. You lose a lot of, not just instincts and playmaking, but you lose a lot of defensive knowledge. And you know anything about DBs, it's communication and what they're seeing that they have to talk out. It's a lot to lose.
Second down and goal from the 2. Whedon will roll the pocket to the right, throws to the right, pass complete to the right. It's Greg Little. Well, a well-designed play by the Browns and Norv Turner. They freed Whedon up a little bit, and he was able to thread the needle.
Well, you see Little here. They're going to kind of seal this edge here for Whedon, and you get Little out here in the flat. It's an easy catch. It's rhythm and timing. Again, not much of a route by Greg Little. They're banking. He'll beat Bill Bentley with the speed, and then it's up to Brandon Whedon to put the ball in its right place at the right time.
7th different receiver for the Browns in this first half. They take the lead. Cundiff's point after makes it a 14-7 game.
Brandon Whedon, Greg Little, nice play design. It's a play that everyone's got in every offense across the league. It comes down to a crisp throw, And then this dancing, I don't know what they call this stuff, but they're happy, and they're playing some great football right now here in Cleveland.
Well, as they get older, or as we get older, those dances become more and more unfamiliar for all of us.
Well, listen, I've only been off the field 2 years now, but I still didn't know what those dances were called during my 10-year career.
Well, give some credit to Brandon Weeden. As we said, he had heard the whispers about decision-making coming into this ball game. He said to us, he goes, you know, I've never heard that before in my career, that I hold on to the ball too much, that I get sacked too often. He said, this is the first time I've ever heard that. Well, today, it's pretty efficient, 10 for 16 with 2 short touchdown passes.
Well, and you like the resiliency. I mean, he throws an interception to DeAndre Levy, you know, for the Detroit Lions linebacker, and then he comes back down. And you talk about these last 3 or 4 drives. I mean, the yards they've put up and what he's been able to accomplish. He's playing extremely well.
9 plays, 84 yards on that drive. Cundiff will kick it off. Spurlock is back deep to receive. He hasn't had too many opportunities to return the ball with Billy Cundiff. Same area, and Spurlock will just take a knee. Let's check it with Kurt Menefee to see what's coming up on Visa Halftime Report.
Coming up on the Visa Halftime Report, we'll get you all caught up on all the early game action, including the Kansas City Chiefs trying to stay perfect this season, while the Steelers are looking for their first win of the year against the surprising Jets. That and more on the Visa Halftime.
All right, Kurt, we appreciate that. It's a busy day, obviously, of the National Football League with some important ball games, including this one where the Browns have a 14-7 lead over the Lions. Last 3 drives. The Lions with just 1 first down and a combined 28 yards of total offense. Matthew Stafford to throw, looking long to the near side, and his pass is incomplete. Broken up at the last moment. Chris Owens. Yep.
Great play. You saw the recovery speed by Chris. I think that's one that, you know, you see Chris down up here locked up. This is probably one that Matthew Stafford throwing to Patrick Edwards probably wishes he could have back. Get that a little further out. He had room to squeeze that in. The safety gets over late. Good play by Chris Owens.
Chris Owens is normally used in the nickel package, and I guess they're assuming that the Lions are going to go for something here with 1:10 to play in the first half. Off the play fake, Stafford looking to throw again to the far side. Pass is complete. Nope, it's dropped. Durham just never hung on as he was hit by Joe Hayden.
And these are the things that frustrate, you know, Matthew Stafford. I mean, we've seen some spectacular catches today by Chris Durham, and Matthew zips it on him. Great protection again, and, you know, Chris has to make that catch. Now you're sitting in 3rd and 9, and Calvin Johnson comes back into the game, but this is where Ray Horton thrives. This is where you'll see all the exotic blitzes and stunts and everything that can frustrate your offensive line protection, as well as what Matthew Stafford is seeing in the back end of this defense.
So we said, DeQuell Jackson said this is what they live for, are these opportunities.
Absolutely. There's Calvin. It looks like Joe Hayden is manned up on him.
Stafford looking to the left side of the field, and his pass is incomplete after a diving attempt by Pat Edwards.
And it looked like Calvin was basically just brought in for your decoy route. I mean, Matthew obviously goes through his progressions. You had Calvin in the slot. You see Matthew's head. He tries to move the safety with his head to the right. And then, you know, just the drop here by Patrick Edwards. Matthew, this is a game of inches, as I said before.
3 and outs the last 4 possessions for the Lions. Benjamin takes it at the 29 and is bumped back immediately. Browns will get a chance. 50 seconds to play. Let's check in with Joel Klatt with another game break. Joel?
All right, thank you, Tom. Back to Kansas City, and Jamal Charles, 7-yard touchdown run, and the unbeaten Chiefs tie it up with the Raiders. A minute to go before half in that one. It's all knotted at 7.
All right, Joel, thank you very much. I was in Oakland last week, and I watched as Pryor sort of came of age for the Oakland Raiders. Whether it continues or not, obviously it's a tough environment for a young quarterback to go into. But he looked pretty good last week against the Chargers.
Well, he did. And I think the movement passes that he had when he was extending plays and keeping his eyes down the field, Terrell Pryor impressed me as well.
Well, it's first down from just outside the 25 for the Browns. 50 seconds left to play here in the first half, and flags come flying.
I didn't see any movement along the Cleveland line. I saw Nick Fairley move. I saw Willie Young hop into the neutral zone. See what Walt Coleman has to say to us.
Neutral zone infraction, number 98, defense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
You got good eyes, my man. You have good eyes.
Well, as big as Nick Fairley is, you know, he's hard to miss. These guys are quarterback hungry. You know, they want to go out here and make a play. And again, Brandon Weeden, those hard counts, he's in the shotgun, getting these defensive linemen to give him free 5 yards.
Joe Thomas told us that is one of the differences between Weeden and Hoyer, is that the snap count for Weeden is a little more assertive. He's a little deeper in voice. Ogbonnaya gets a first down, a gain of 8 up to the 39.
Second team timeout.
And a timeout called by the Browns.
30-second timeout.
Tonight on Fox Sports Live, Jay and Dan will have complete highlights and analysis from the American League Championship Series, game number 2, plus a full day of NFL action, the new college football rankings, plus everything else in the world of sports. Don't miss Fox Sports Live every night only on Fox Sports 1. Find Fox Sports 1 on your provider. Go to foxsports1.com today. Big games yesterday. Michigan losing to Penn State, Georgia losing to Missouri.
What a great job Billy O'Brien has done in Penn State. Despite all the circumstances, everyone telling him what they could and couldn't do, he has just continued to impress.
Plus 107,000 at Penn State for that ball game. Ogbonnaya in the ball game on first down for the Browns. Weeden to throw. Pass is complete, middle of the field to Josh Gordon, who breaks some tackles and is going toward the sidelines before he's thrown out by Stephen Tulloch. That's a 36-yard pass play. Weeden told us that he needs to take a little zip off those crossing patterns. I don't think he needed to take any zip off that one.
Not at all. And this is kind of in between that deep crosser and that shallow crosser. Big body Josh Gordon. He pushes off Chris Houston. He gets to about that 18-yard depth. Chris Houston misses the tackle there at the end. And then Josh Gordon, great finish by a big, fast. And this is what you love. What's Detroit defense known for? That big defensive front. Look at that pocket that was created around Brandon Weeden. If they get that consistently, Brandon Weeden can make the decisions down the field.
Flags are launched on first down. Weeden going for it all, and he overthrows Greg Little. 27 seconds to play here in the first half. Boy, he had Little wide open.
He sure did. And I think based on where the flag came in at, we're probably going to have another offsides penalty. Well, actually, illegal formation.
Illegal shift, 2 men moving and not resetting. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Well, Walt Coleman gets that call right. 2 guys moving, you can't make it happen, but this is one you love the play design. You try to bait Chris Houston into instincts. Great call by Rob Chudzinski. You know, knowing the defensive personality, you know, what do guys like? Do they struggle with double moves? And you get Greg Little, he kind of stuttered those hips, and one of those passes you just barely missed.
It's one of those passes that you might go back to at some point later on in the game.
Listen, if I know Rob, he'll remember that one. He'll stack it away in the back of his mind and pull it up later.
First down at 15 from the 30. Browns with 1 timeout left here in the first half. That was a tough pass for Ogbonnaya to handle out of the backfield, so it'll be second down.
Typical first and long call there. You try to get a little screen out of the backfield, gain back 5 or 6 yards, what the penalty cost you from the illegal shift and illegal formation, and get within a manageable situation on second down. But now this is where 2nd and 15 again. You know, let's see what Jim Schwartz and Gunther Cunningham, the defensive coordinator, will dial up to get after Brandon Weeden. And
they are within Billy Cundiff's range at this point, but they'd like to get a little deeper just to assure themselves an easier field goal attempt. Second down from the 30. Weeden again to throw. Pumps once, throws to the far side for Gordon, who can't get it. Just beyond his reach. Boy, he had double coverage too, and he had sped past the double coverage. Delmas and Houston were both out there for the Lions, and it'll be third down.
Well, again, they're going to all of Brandon Weeden's throws. I mean, you're going to get the stem in here and then get him back out. You know, you draw Chris Ogbonnaya, you kind of get those corners to settle their feet. And this is just that ball that's just, man, Josh Gordon right off the fingertips. One that you'll see from this angle here. Maybe that's when you just stick out one of them big paws and try to grab it instead of trying to two-hand it.
All right, on third down, let's see what Weeden does here. Out of the backfield, he has a man. It's Ogbonnaya, and he gave the Browns a little extra breathing room down to the 22. So 11 seconds to play, a gain of 8. Darius Slay with the tackle for the Lions. And here comes Billy Cundiff.
Well, this is what you were talking about, buddy. Those 7 yards, 8 yards you just pick up there on third down, make this a much more manageable kick. you like your odds here.
Yeah, instead of 48 yards, you're looking at 40 yards for Billy Cundiff, who's 8 for 10 this year. The holder is Spencer Lanning, the punter. Christian Yount is the long snapper. Browns have the lead, looking for more. Kick is on its way, and it is good. Well, this has turned out to be a heck of a first half for the Cleveland Browns, considering that opening drive by the Detroit Lions. Actually, the first couple drives by the Detroit Lions.
And they're losing the turnover battle as it is right now. 1 interception for Brandon Weeden. Detroit has done a good job of holding on to the ball, but in the points department, 17-7 near here at halftime.
Let's go back to that play earlier in the first half, the play to Travis Benjamin. It seemed like it relaxed everybody from a Cleveland offensive standpoint.
Yes, you get a big reverse, get the ball in the hands of your speedster playmaker, who had a ridiculous week on special teams last week against Buffalo. And as I said before, you don't coach speed and athleticism. Travis did a great job. Changed the field position for Cleveland. Allowed Brandon to really settle in. Norv Turner's had this offense rolling ever since.
115 yards on the ground in the first half for the Cleveland Browns, including that run by Benjamin. That's their high for a game.
Wow.
115 yards. Calvin Johnson, he's been in, but he hasn't been the Calvin Johnson that everybody would expect, being 100% healthy.
Right. He's definitely been on a pitch count. They've had him in on some third down scenarios. I think he's been targeted maybe once, if I'm correct. He had a drop there, probably a ball that he knows he should have caught in a big situation, but hopefully we'll get to see him more in the second half.
Billy Cundiff will let this one go. Nobody was back for the Lions as it goes out of the end zone. All right, so Calvin Johnson's day so far. He's been out there, as we said. He hasn't gotten as many snaps as we're normally used to.
Well, when you see him active here, it's man-to-man. Joe Hayden, this is what Ray Horton wants to do. They trust their young corner against Calvin. You see there's a lot of openings. Here's the target. He catches this one. And then decoys in other situations, third down, red zone opportunities. I think the second half we're going to see more of a focus on Megatron Calvin Johnson.
33 plays, 10 snaps for Calvin Johnson. And just that one catch that we just showed you. On first down, Stafford will take the knee, so that will be it. And this crowd of 73,300, most of which are Browns fans, feeling pretty good about what they saw, particularly in the second quarter from Brandon Weeden and the rest of their offense.
Well, it's really interesting. I mean, Brandon Weeden, other than the interception, which I'll go back to, DeAndre Levy just made an outstanding play on that interception. But Brandon Weeden, he's been calm, he's been poised. They're letting him, Norv Turner is letting him be comfortable in what he's good at throwing. The deep crossing routes, we saw a minute ago, the deep corner shot that was an almost touchdown. The kid is playing well, and poise is what you want to see out of your quarterback.
The other thing, too, is that he's been able to spread out his passes. It hasn't been just Josh Gordon. He's been able to spread it out to a bunch of different receivers.
Well, and that also means that he's seeing and feeling the field, which is, when you break down Brandon Weeden's film, that would be the area of knock on his performances, that Tommy doesn't. You see antsy feet, and a lot of time antsy feet means that you're not quite real sure of what you're seeing and where to go with the ball. But you know what? Again, throw an interception, and then to come back and play the way that he has since is special, and it shows a lot about the confidence he's playing with.
Well, the Cleveland Browns came into today's ballgame with a 3-2 record. They shared the top spot in the AFC North. They want to continue to hold on to the top spot in the division, and they can do that with a victory this afternoon over the Detroit Lions. After the first quarter, it really has been all Cleveland Browns, and it was Travis Benjamin's 45-yard end around that got the ball rolling for Cleveland offensively and led them to a 250-yard first half in this afternoon's ballgame. 17-7, Cleveland on top. We now go to Kurt Menefee in Los Angeles for the Visa halftime starts now. Follow your favorite team all season long. Go to itunes.com/NFL. Well, the Browns will get the ball to begin the second half. They lead at 17-7. Last 4 possessions, 3 scores for the Cleveland Browns. They probably hated that halftime game. They probably wanted that momentum to continue on.
Minute mark in the first quarter, they just were lights out. I mean, you look at the yardage total, 230 yards for Cleveland, 27 for Detroit after Travis Benjamin reset the field position for the Cleveland Browns.
Well, the Browns will have it 1st and 10 from their 20. Let's check in with Lisa Byington. Lisa?
Yeah, guys, I talked to both head coaches here at the half, and starting with Browns head coach Rob Trudinsky. He has said with his quarterback, very happy with Brandon Weeden and how he's managing the game. He said that he has gone through his progressions, has not hung on to the ball long. Now, remember, the release time, always a big deal with Weeden. As for Jim Schwartz, he was not happy on how they were allowing them to run the football there in the first half. He was not happy with that big reverse play that led to a lot of yards. And he said, other than the first series, we have not played well defensively.
Well, his team goes on defense. You think more pressure for the Lions?
Well,
Heath?
we've seen Brandon Weeden get comfortable. And you know what? Now it looks like we have another offsides penalty unless there was movement.
Looked like Willie Young may have come across.
Start, number 84, offense.
Nope.
5-yard penalty. Still first down.
So it was Jordan Cameron who drew him off. He jumped a little bit.
Well, and this is where 1st and 15, and we go back to the pressure conversation. First half for Detroit's defense under Gunther Cunningham and Jim Schwartz. I'm not sure if I saw more than a 4-man pressure. And so I think as comfortable as Brandon is playing right now, I think you've got to find a way to kind of stir the pot a bit and get Brandon Weeden thinking and maybe get him back to some of the football we've seen in the past with poor decision making.
Well, it'll be 1st down and 15. Willis McGahee in the backfield with the Browns. And he'll take the handoff, and McGahee is hit immediately, but still moves his feet forward up to the 17. So a gain of 2. Willie Young makes the tackle for the Lions.
Well, Lisa said the rushing issue for Jim Schwartz. He doesn't like the ball being rushed on them. And, you see it, 115 yards in the first half, and you've got a good average for, Willis McGahee as well as Chris Ogbonnaya. But the passing yards as well. I mean, 250 first half yards versus Jim Schwartz defense, and 17 points to go along with it. It's not where they want to be.
2nd down and long. Bess is in motion for Wheaton. Wheaton's under pressure, dumps it off to Ogbonnaya. And Ogbonnaya gets up to the 19, maybe the 20 with forward progress. Darius Slay makes the tackle for the Lions. It'll be 3rd down and long. All right, so now the Lions have a 3rd and long, so this is where they can amp it up a little bit more.
Well, and you can, and playing against Jim Schwartz as many times as I did when he was the defensive coordinator at Tennessee, this is normally where he wants to rely on his front 4. He wants Fairley and Sue and Willie Young and the boys, Ziggy Ansah, to go get the pressure on their own so they can have their coverage ability in the back end. So we'll see if they dial something up. But 3rd and 10, Brandon Weeden, no mistakes, needs to play smart football here.
And it is Ogbonnaya in the backfield, not McGahee. Wheaton out of the shotgun, looking to throw, has Ogbonnaya, and he's tripped up at the 25 and dives forward to the 29. It'll be a yard shy of the 1st down. Bill Bentley in on the tackle for the Lions.
Well, and this is what I would call prototypical Jim Schwartz defense. Nothing behind you, play everything in front of you, let the running back get out of the field or get out in front of you, and then make the sure tackle.
Well, now Spurlock is back deep to receive for the Lions. Spencer Lanning is on the punt for Cleveland. So a good job by Detroit. They'll get the ball back without any additional points by the Browns, and Spurlock will run this one down and call for the fair catch at the 21-yard line. So that is where Matthew Stafford and the Lions offense will get their first possession of the 2nd half when we return.
Today's game is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Well, back here at First Energy Stadium, it's a beautiful facility, and this crowd of 73,000 has watched the Browns handle Calvin Johnson, but also the fact the Lions haven't used Calvin Johnson as much as they would normally use it.
Well, yeah, you saw the thrown too. I mean, if I'm Scott Linehan, the OC, and Matthew Stafford, my game plan in the 2nd half is find Calvin Johnson.
Well, he finds Reggie Bush, who drops the pass. It was right in his breadbasket. Craig Robertson was trailing on the play. Tried to go underneath. It'll be 2nd down and 10 from the 21.
Well, this is where I think the great athletes kind of get ahead of themselves at times. You saw Reggie trying to almost put his foot in the ground and get back out and make a play. He's trying to get ready to cut back, under the defender, Craig Robertson, and forgets to catch the ball first.
5 drops by the Lions so far in this ballgame. A couple of them have been pretty big, too.
Absolutely. That would have extended drives that ended in punts. 2nd
down and 10. The handoff goes to Bush, bounces to his right, gets close to the 25 before he stood up and pushed back. Ataba Rubin made on the tackle. It'll be 3rd down and 6. They'll say it's a gain of 4.
you know, that goes for a gain of 4, and, you know, I think Schwartz is happy, but we just saw kind of what makes Ray Horton's defense so tough. You know, you get Big Ruben and these guys, Desmond Bryant, they kind of stand up their offensive linemen in front of them, taking up 2 gaps apiece, and there's just not a lot of room to run in there.
This ever-growing Cleveland defense. They have 10 draft picks this year, including 2 first-rounders. On third down, the Browns showing blitz. Pocket collapses. Stafford dances away. He has some room. He leans forward. He has the first down. Desmond Bryant made the tackle for the Browns, and here comes some flags. There may have been some pushing after the play finished up. It's interesting because everybody was going back to their respective huddles. Flags came flying late, and arms went up in the air.
Play of the game, number 9, offense. Field play results in a 1st and 10.
Very interesting. A delay of game called on Matthew Stafford.
Well, you can't spike the ball. Matthews pumped.
Oh, okay.
I mean, he probably thought he should have gotten some type of penalty for the guys hitting him as he's sliding for the first down, but I'm not sure he could be upset. I thought it was a good no call by the officials, but you can't spike the ball down and delay the game.
Boy, he was fiery, though, after that, wasn't he? He's a guy who's got a lot of confidence in his ability.
Well, we just saw the athleticism of him as well, the movement in the pocket. And
on first down, the handoff goes to Reggie Bush, who has some daylight on the near sideline. Reggie Bush still has some life in his legs, and he gets across the 35 to the 34. Chris Owens made the tackle. It's a gain of 39. So interesting to think about what Reggie Bush has been able to do this year with the Lions.
Well, a little misdirection. They're going to get him coming back here. You see the pull. The guard gets around, tight end. The Pettigrew gets around, and then it's just off to the races for Reggie. And, you know, we were watching some college football last night together, and he says, man, I remember when football was so easy. He was talking about playing at USC, and when he could just outrun the whole world. Well, this is the NFL, and you're not outrunning too many people.
Jim Schwartz said the one thing he learned about having Reggie Bush on his team is that he is a tremendous teammate. Here's Durham. And Durham down to the 28. Chris Owens makes the tackle.
We hear the terminology where teams say this pass game is an extension of the run game. This is what Matthew Stafford really just did. You know, he just got up there, he counted the defensive guys in the box and said, hey, our run's not going to work. He found Chris Durham. He saw the coverage was 5 or 6 yards off him, throws the ball out there, 6 yards on first down.
Now Durham now with 5 receptions this afternoon. He had 4 in the first half, 1 here in the second half. It'll be second down. Stafford out of the shotgun. Dances around, has Durham again for first down to the 21-yard line. Talking about a safety valve, a gain of 7. DeQuell Jackson with the tackle for the Browns. Well, I guess this is what we expected to see more of with the Lions offense. You know, they don't have a lot of plays over 10 yards, just more plays like this.
Well, you're going to see Durham coming across here, but again, you like the protection that you get from Stafford. You know, he's able to shift his feet a little bit, steady up, slide up, make a nice completion there.
Joique Bell into the ball game for the Lions, and first down from the 21. He'll take the handoff, bounces over one defender, and he's down to the 18, a gain of 3. DeQuell Jackson with the tackle. Let's check in with Joel Klatt with a game break. Joel?
All right, thank you, Tom. We go to New York. Heavy play action from Ben Roethlisberger to Le'Veon Bell, and then up top to Emmanuel Sanders, 55 yards for the touchdown, and the Steelers up 16-6 over the Jets in New York. Tom?
Joel, I don't know. I think I'd prefer the dance than the flip right there. That was...
You'll hurt your back.
That's going to hurt a lot of things. Emmanuel Sanders, you see the Steelers 0-4, looking for their first win. Sanders, the receiver out of SMU. Stafford with a little pressure, dumps it off to Reggie Bush. Bush has some room into the end zone. Touchdown Lions. 18-yard pass play from Stafford to Bush.
This is all play designed by Scott Lanahan. You're going to see these guys release and go get blocks. Reggie Bush is going to come in here. This is a screen. You're going to see the penetration. You kind of block, and then let the defenders go. You see Raiola. You see the guys release downfield. Great job by Reggie Bush getting in behind his blockers. Great finish at the end of the reception as well to get in the end zone.
Well, we said that Jim Schwartz said he found out that he's a great teammate. all he cares about is winning. He doesn't care about anything else. And Jim Schwartz said that Reggie Bush went to Miami and became a running back again and not a scat back. Well, he was certainly a scat back here as he pulls the Lions within 3. Reggie Bush just scored his 51st career touchdown. It was an 8-play, 79-yard drive. Very efficient, and Bush had a lot to do with a lot of the numbers on that drive.
Yes, he did. If you remember, he started it out with a drop, and then he made up for it really quickly. You know, Reggie in the open field it's a nightmare. I watched teams for 2 years with my time in New Orleans with him, try to plan for him and try to game plan how to trap him, how to squeeze him, how to man coverage. Tough to do.
Well, we said that he is a great teammate, and look, he went up, he's like running for office. Reggie Bush, the leader of the Lions, pulls them within 3. And Ndamukong Suh in his 4th year out of Nebraska. Before his team went out defensively, he's doing a little coaching right here with some of his teammates.
I mean, you see it with Devin Taylor, and you see Willie Young there moving those hands. I think they're talking about stunts and different things, rub techniques that they want to try to get to Brandon Weeden with.
Well, they just had a stop on the last series. Let's see if they could do it here. The first down pass is incomplete. Darius Slay in on the coverage of Greg Little, so it'll be 2nd down and 10.
Well, Darius Slade did a great job. He basically ran that route for Greg Little, and Brandon Weeden was a little outside with the ball. Not a chance for a completion there.
Mentioned that it's been misting for most of the day. It really hasn't had any effect at all. This playing field is beautifully manicured. It's one of the best that you'll see. It's unseasonably warm here in Cleveland, and they'll take it. On 2nd down, pressure's coming, and I think the Lions may have jumped. Suh tried to time the snap count, and he just couldn't keep his feet behind the line of scrimmage.
Well, and this was that rare pressure, rare blitz that we have not seen yet. Walt Coleman will give us the call.
Neutral zone infraction, number 90, defense, 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
Second penalty called against Ndamukong Suh.
Well, you'll see Suh kind of stand up. We got a lot of guys coming here. Ashley Palmer getting in the mix, and great job by Brandon Weeden holding the count, and a great job by the offensive line holding their water.
Well, it gives him a little breathing room. It's 2nd down and 5 from the 25. Suh, you might have read this week, his fine was upheld by the NFL. The handoff goes to Gordon on an end around, and it's read beautifully by the Lions. DeAndre Levy makes the tackle right at the line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd down and 5.
Well, and sometimes your speed and athleticism, they do a great job at rally. If you watch Nick Fairley, he's going to get up here and actually overrun this action coming back. This could have been a disastrous play for Norv Turner and his offense. But again, the back end, you see the rallying speed of DeAndre Levy. Tulloch's in the mix, Ziggy Ansah. There's guys everywhere.
Well, Levy has that 1 interception. He has 4 tackles so far.
That 1 interception, Tom, should count for 3 interceptions. It was so pretty.
Obadiah in the ball game for the Browns on 3rd down. Weeden in trouble. He's going to roll, and he's wrapped up and taken down by Ndamukong Suh. Boy, he went in hard on Brandon Weeden, and it'll be 4th down.
When you're a kid, and they sometimes tell you you don't know how strong you are. Well, Ndamukong Suh, he just doesn't know how strong he is. There's nothing malicious about this. Here at the end of the play, I mean, he's just trying to tackle. His body's rolling over, and then Weeden, yes, a big quarterback, kind of gets tossed around like a rag doll. Talk about some of the strength feats of Ndamukong Suh, the squat, the bench, the shoulder presses. Monster is the word that comes to mind.
Well, the Lions will get it back. They're within 3. Lanning's punt. It's low, and Spurlock will take it at the 30. He has some room to run to the sidelines and out of bounds at the 42, and some flags come in late. Well, Brandon Weeden may feel this for going to feel this for a couple of days. That's a heck of a hit from Ndamukong Suh. And that forced the 4th down. Now, Walt Coleman will let us know who the penalty is against here.
During the return, holding 32 of the return team. 10-yard penalty, 1st down.
It seemed like that penalty may have happened away from the play, but the Lions will get it back down by 3 when we come back. It's about much more than pink on the field. Together, the NFL and the American Cancer Society are helping women across the country make a crucial catch. Hear the personal impact stories and find out how you can help finish the fight against breast cancer at NFL.com/pink. Well, the number of stories about how breast cancer has impacted players and personnel around the league. Joe Thomas's mother-in-law is battling breast cancer. And last week, I'll tell you, the promotions and the impactful stories that were heard by so many were outstanding as Reggie Bush is stood up by the rookie Barkevious Mingo with his first big play of this ball game. Boy, Mingo so athletic, getting a chance to start today because Sheard is down with an injury.
Well, and you get to see the growth. This is called setting the edge so Reggie Bush cannot get outside. He will turn Reggie Bush. He made this mistake last week. Speaking of Barkevious Mingo, let a big play develop and happen in that Buffalo game. You love seeing the rookie learn from his mistakes. Set that edge, turn the action back inside to all your defenders coming to help.
What was it Joe Horton told us this week, that his defense, he's putting more and more in, but it's going to go as Mingo goes as he gets more used to it.
Yes, Ray has a lot of athletic ability there to work with, and you know, Barkevious Mingo.
Second down at 12. The pass to Bush out of the backfield. He's shoved out of bounds by Craig Robertson. It's a pretty good gain on second down. So it'll be third down and about 2.5. It's a gain of 9.
Well, everyone gets to see the athletic ability of, you know, Barkevious Mingo on that last play and the pass rush ability. But, you know, Ray Horton did mention just his ability really to grasp and retain, and didn't see him making the same mistake repetitively as most young players do. So good to see him getting it done. This kid, the ceiling for his potential is scary.
He missed some time earlier this year because of a bruised lung. That slowed his progress. Third down, a little more than 2. A little bit of pressure from the Browns. Stafford to throw to the middle, and it's complete to Johnson for a first down out toward midfield. And man, that ball was nearly intercepted, but it's a 10-yard gain.
This is where that little sidearm action of Matthew Stafford will just frustrate you. He's going to get up here a little timing, and then he's going to come across. What I love about Calvin, consummate pro. He knows the depth, what he needs to get to. He gets to it, settles in that space for Matthew to be able to slip it right through all those defenders' hands. Great job by Matthew and Calvin Johnson.
Ball was just beyond the reach of DeQuell Jackson. I mean, just beyond his reach.
I love those camera angles because it gives the viewers at home really just the simplistic idea of just how close Matthew is to all these defenders when he's tossing that ball in there.
On first down, the handoff to Bush, who gets 6 to the 45. Let's check in with Kurt Menefee for a game break. Kurt?
All right, Nick Foles, his second touchdown pass of the day, a nice strike. 47 yards to Riley Cooper for the score. Puts them on top in Tampa, 21-17, late in the third. Tom and Heath.
All right, Kurt, thank you very much. Mike Glennon's had a pretty good day so far, at least these last few series for Tampa Bay as they kind of regroup offensively.
Right. Mike Glennon's test will be in that fourth quarter, managing the game, taking what's given to him. You know, before they had their bye week, played Arizona. I called that game. A couple late interceptions that really hurt that football team.
On second down, the handoff goes to Bell. He bounces off one defender and gets close to the first down marker. It was T.J. Ward who had him.
This is physical running. Again, I had Joik in New Orleans when he was an undrafted free agent. That's T.J. Ward, who is a vicious tackler. Joik very close to the third down, but T.J. Ward could have had that for, you know, a negative gain or a 0-yard gain. Instead, Joik finishes that run. Good balance. I love when running backs, not only are their shoulder pads low, but their head is up where they can see the field in front of them. A lot of guys will lower their shoulder, have no idea where they're running. Great run by Joik Bell.
Great story out of Wayne State, was the Division II Player of the Year. He'll get another opportunity to get that first down and keeps the feet moving down to the 39.
Second effort. Joik is pumped, gets you the first down. I guess we'll call that a haymaker, the first down motion. But again, listen, this defensive front for Cleveland, they've done their job today. Just good effort by Joik Bell, finding a way to find that extra yard or two to get that first down.
Said Bell is in his third year. He was the Harlan Hill winner back in 2009 for the best Division II football player. You're good. You can play.
He's got a sweet back flip, too. Hopefully he'll get a score today. Maybe we'll get to see it.
On first down, the handoff, the inside handoff goes to Bush. T.J. Ward with the tackle. Well, and they're chewing some clock. You know, obviously there's still plenty of time left in the game, but they are now trying to garner control of every part of this game.
Well, and let the momentum of this game that swung at halftime really stay on their side. I mean, before halftime, I mean, the yards, everything, the score spoke to Cleveland dominating this game. Detroit, Cleveland gets the ball first to start this half. Detroit stops them. They go down and score. They stop them again. Now Matthew Stafford's here driving his team again.
29 pass plays for Stafford, 7 different receivers. Stafford to throw, and his pass is incomplete over the head of Durham, who was able to turn his man and had an opening. Buster Skrine slipped down, and that would have been enough for a first down.
Well, Stafford does not like this at all. You know, it was a good route by Chris Durham. You know, he got Buster Skrine turned all the way around. He knows he was wide open. You see, quarterbacks hate that. They're not thinking about the stats. They're just thinking about a drive that's extended. And now you're thinking about Ray Horton on 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7. This is where you don't want to be against this defense. Everything picks up the pace, the exotic schemes and pressures and blitzes and coverage. Much more difficult versus Ray Horton on 3rd down than it is on 1st and 2nd.
Armani Bryant in on the defensive line for Cleveland. Stafford to throw. It looked like he was hit, but he gets it off. The pass is complete, and I think they've got a first down. Des Bryant may have tipped that, but Calvin Johnson was able to keep his eye on it and make that catch.
You know, I spoke a minute ago about Calvin knowing the depth for the first down. You'll see the presence. You'll see Matthew Stafford. Good protection. Joique Bell, good pickup there. You see Matthew kind of the little jump shake, but Calvin knowing right where he needs to be for the first down, snatches the ball, lunges forward for another first down, for another yard, just to make sure he's got his depth.
So a first down for the Lions. The ball inside the 29 of Cleveland. See the number of first downs this quarter for Detroit. It's all part of dominating the second half. They're down by 3. Stafford toward the goal line, and it's intercepted. It was tipped into the hands at the goal line for the Cleveland Browns to Tashaun Gipson. And Gibson's wrapped up at the 30-yard line. A 33-yard return off the tipped interception by the second-year pro out of Wyoming. It's his second INT of the year.
Tashaun Gipson, you need to thank Buster Skrine. Great job on him. Matthew Stafford, obviously frustrated. Tashaun Gipson, like I said before break, you need to thank Buster Skrine. Look at him break on this ball. Beautiful defensive play right into the hands of Gipson, and then a nice return. 1st and 10 at the 30-yard line for the Cleveland Browns.
Well, that's the 11th deflection of the year for Skrine. That leads the Cleveland Browns. That was a big one, so the Browns will take over. The handoff to McGahee, and McGahee's wrapped up and taken down by C.J. Mosley after a gain of 2. So 2nd down and 8. Mosley, the 9th-year pro out of Missouri. Pretty happy after their victory yesterday over Georgia.
A costly victory at that.
Costly, yep. James Franklin, their quarterback, out with a separated shoulder. 2nd down and 8. But what a momentum swing. That just stopped everything.
Well, it was back-to-back great drives by Detroit. Interception.
Weeded in trouble. He throws it up for grabs, and he has his tight end, Barnidge. And Barnidge is out of bounds at about the 30, so it's a loss on the play. It's fortunate that wasn't intercepted. He threw that up for grabs.
You're going to see Stephen Tulloch kind of fly through here, unblocked. Whedon just trying to get rid of it. Might be one Barnidge just wants to bat down next time.
That's a good point.
He got back to the line of scrimmage. We're still sitting here at 3rd and 10. Well, excuse me, that was 2nd and 8, wasn't it? So, yeah, he did lose 2 yards.
Obadiah checks in for the Browns. It is 3rd down and 10. The Browns need to get to the 40 for a first down. Whedon out of the shotgun looking to throw. Pocket collapses, and he is smashed down at the 20 by Willie Young. Boy, Willie Young came out of nowhere.
This is more of those games and stunts. Willie Young extremely happy here. Just a 4-man pressure. A lot of movement. Guys twisting and stunning. Defensive linemen picking off each other. Willie Young breaks through. That's that team defense that Jim Schwartz preaches. It's not about who's making the big plays. It's just about everyone doing their job to set up other people to make the big plays.
Well, we've got 15 minutes left, and it should be a good ending. Well, you see what's happened by quarters between the Lions and the Cleveland Browns. The Browns to punt on 4th down. They lost 9 on that sack. They were able to get the punt off the side of the foot. Spurlock will let it bounce, and it takes a Cleveland bounce. It's picked up by Spurlock at the 31. And he's out of bounds at the 34, maybe the 33. Fox tomorrow, it's everyone's new favorite drama. Sleepy Hollow has critics raving. It's unlike anything else on television. A mysterious child is found from another era. Does he carry a deadly secret? See why everyone is hopelessly hooked on Sleepy Hollow. It's all new tomorrow night at 9, 8 Central on Fox. Well, Matthew Stafford, his team didn't really lose a whole lot after that interception. And his fourth quarters, I mean, he definitely has a leg up on Brandon Weeden.
Well, and he is one of the best. It's not just Weeden. His numbers were there with the best in the business with the elite quarterbacks. And so you see the 0 interceptions, and that's what's going to be key for Matthew Stafford.
Tremendous quarterback rating. 10 come from behind wins for Matthew Stafford, including one big one against the Browns back in 2009. On first down, the handoff to Bell. Gets away from T.J. Ward and is able to slip a few extra yards past Mingo, who is credited with the tackle. It'll be second down.
Well, this is, again, I'm Scott Linehan. Heck, if I'm Matthew Stafford, I'm asking Scott Linehan, your offensive coordinator, make this Calvin Johnson time. Again, that coverage there, he was one-on-one. Joe Hayden is finding him every play that Calvin's in on the field. It's time for your superstars to make plays.
Even if it's Calvin Johnson like we saw in the last drive where he's just getting beyond the first down marker, getting short yards to move keep moving the drive.
Well, and he spurs this team on. The defense feeds off of him. He's down here again, locked up. This is what you want.
Reggie Bush back in the ball game. Stafford to throw, has Bush, and he's got a first down. Out close to midfield, will mark him just shy of the 49. Gain of 15. Chris Owens makes the tackle for the Browns.
Again, for such a big, physical, aggressive defensive front for the Browns, the offensive line has done very, very well today. And here's Reggie Bush. You just can't do this. You try to put a linebacker in coverage. It's just not fair. As athletic as Craig Robertson is in space, there's DBs and safeties that don't stay with Reggie Bush.
55th snap of the game. 18 plays for Calvin Johnson. Bush has picked up a lot of the slack. Bell's back in as Bush is out, and Bell slips through the right side before he's taken down by Rubin and DJ Ward.
Good decisive run by Joique Bell. It's every young back's, I think, their tendency. They think you can always outrun everybody. And what Joique did there, he decided to kind of press the edge a little bit, but then he put his foot in the ground and went up in there and got some tough yards. And that's what you like to see, because Cleveland, fundamentally, they're sound. They're not going to let you get that edge. And Joique, that was a smart play by a third-year back.
Well, he remains in the ball game. 3 receivers off to the left for Matthew Stafford. Off the play fake, they dump it off to Reggie Bush. Bush has a blocker as he's able to get the first down inside Browns territory to the 38. DeQuell Jackson made the tackle. That's a gain of 9 on the play.
This is, again, the quandary that Reggie Bush puts you in. You know, he's a running back, but yes, he can line up in the slot, and he can line up out in your wide receiver, split out wide. And this is just a very, just a simple screen. They get the ball to him very, very quickly. And then Reggie Bush, I don't know, he's doing some push-ups. Maybe he didn't think his triceps were quite pumped up enough, you know?
You saw him yesterday. He's in great shape.
Yeah, listen, eating fried chicken wings. You know, I'm like, how do you look like that eating chicken wings?
Calvin Johnson is stretched out to the far side, one-on-one. Off the play fake, Stafford throws to the near side for Durham, and Durham is tripped up. Buster Screen with the tackle. Let's check in with Kurt Menefee with a game break. Kurt?
Well, Green Bay lost both James Jones and Randall Cobb to knee injuries in the first half, but this is how deep they are at receiver. Jordy Nelson, wide open, 64 yards from Aaron Rodgers. They take the lead 16-3 on the road in Baltimore. Tom and Heath.
Well, to have that arm strength that you just saw, it's just remarkable. You have a guy here in Matthew Stafford who has that arm strength, but talking about protection and letting the ball go.
I still don't know how you let Jordy Nelson get that far behind you on defense.
It's second down. Stafford on a slant, incomplete. He tried Broyles, who's been quiet today. Boy, they had high hopes for Ryan Broyles, the second-year receiver out of Oklahoma. Buster Screen was in on the coverage.
Well, and they've been nursing him back from a knee injury that he had prior to being drafted. So they're looking for this growth to really take off from Ryan Broyles. We've seen splashes of his athleticism and what he can and can't do, but, you know, they want more growth. Matthew Stafford needs more growth out of Ryan Broyles.
All right, so now a third down. 3rd and 7. You see the Lions have dominated the yardage in this second half.
There's your one-on-one matchup. You see your safety far inside. Let's see what Matthew Stafford, that safety was moving off the hash before the...
Well, that's Pettigrew, the tight end, who made a nifty move to get some extra yards. Wow. That's a big man that was able to dance his way for a first down. A gain of 12.
Here he is lined up. It's a very simple play. He's just going to get out there in the flat. He knows the distance he needs. This is a 270-pound man putting his foot in the ground, beating Craig Robertson. And you see Matthew Stafford. Loves the athleticism, loves the finish that his boys are giving him right now. Great play. And then the hurdle at the end. I keep telling him he's too big to be jumping people. They're going to catch you slipping one time, pal.
Well, it's a 12-yard gain, all after the catch. On first down, off the play fake, Stafford to throw to the right side, and it's complete. Touchdown, Lions. Fourier with his second touchdown of the day.
And I don't want to upset one of my good friends, Jimmy Graham, the tight end from the Saints, but this dunk by Fourier at the end of the play, after the scoring play, after this touchdown, is ridiculous. I love what Matthew Stafford did. He found his mismatch. Fourier, 6'7", can jump, and then watch this dunk at the end. I mean, it's like, oh, they killed you at home. we had a windmill dunk coming for you that was like Dominique, who's my basketball player?
Dominique Wilkins.
Yes, Wilkins. Remarkable.
Second touchdown reception of the day for Fourier. Third touchdown pass for Stafford, and the Lions have the lead, up by 4 with 10:35 to play here in the fourth quarter. We said he's high percentage around the goal line.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Lowe's. Lowe's, never stop improving. By Bud Light, official beer sponsor of the NFL. And by Pizza Hut. Prep for game day by ordering online from Pizza Hut. Make it great.
Well, it's remarkable that every sport is a game of adjustments, and the Lions did some amazing adjustments coming out at the half. They just wrapped up an 8-play, 67-yard touchdown drive, and this is after an 8-play, 79-yard touchdown drive, a 10-play drive that resulted in an interception. So they have held on to the football while taking the lead here in the second half. Little is back deep to receive, and he will take a knee. Well, we'll let everybody at home decide which one they like better. This is the first touchdown in the dance by Fourier. If you ask me, I like the second dance.
The windmill.
A little bit better. Busy day on Fox. Game 2 of the American League Championship Series from Fenway Park tonight. David Ortiz and the Red Sox try to avoid going down 2-0 against Miguel Cabrera and the Tigers. American League Championship Series Game 2 tonight following football. Only on Fox. Joe and Tim will have the call from Fenway Park. Last night the Red Sox could not manage a hit against Anibal Sanchez. We asked Brandon Weeden, we said, do you miss baseball? And he said, no. I'll watch it now while playoffs are going on, but I really don't miss it. From a minor league player. Weeden out of the shotgun. Pass complete to Gordon on a slant. And Gordon has a first down to the 35, maybe the 34. Gain of 14. Delmas with the tackle. All right, we talked about Stafford, how good he is in the fourth quarter. Weeden, he's going to be given a test here.
Yes, and this has been a major area of concern as well as struggle for Weeden. His numbers, production at quarterback, I mean, they've been abysmal, but you know what? Jim Schwartz there on first down, a little pressure. He dials up under Gunther Cunningham, the defensive coordinator. Brandon Weeden took advantage of it. Nice pickup on first down.
Brings it out to the 34. His tight end, Barnage, is in motion. Cameron, the other tight end, has been quiet this afternoon. Weeden has plenty of time. Now throws off his back leg and has to get rid of it. And there's the coverage by the Lions secondary, because the offensive line gave Brandon Weeden plenty of time. And let's see what the officials decide if they decide to call intentional grounding.
Well, he was clearly still in the pocket, and there's not a Cleveland Browns eligible receiver within 15-20 yards of that ball when he heaves it over there to that side of the field.
Intentional grounding on the offense. There's not a receiver in the area. Lost it down. Take it down.
Well, you're going to see he's going to wiggle around the pocket. Little play action. Still in the pocket, still in the pocket. He starts feeling the pressure there by Nick Fairley. Never gets outside of that tackle box where then you're able to heave that ball out of bounds wherever you want.
Well, loss of downs, so it moves the ball down to the 24. A loss of 10. Rob Chudzinski's squad led it at the half, 17-7. They trail at 21-17. And now whistles blow and a false start.
And I know Norv Turner is just...
False start, 84, offense, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
And this is the second false start today on Cameron. You know, these are the penalties. Not only do you lose a down on first, you lose 10 yards. On second down, now we're sitting here at 2nd and 25. Self-inflicted mistakes.
Well, this is also the spot where Joe Thomas told us that the Lions' young defensive line, this is where they pin their ears back a little bit. They're feeling it. They have the lead, and they're into the ball game. Whedon pumps once, throws to the far side, and it's complete to Little. Did he keep both feet in? And they'll talk about it. And they're saying that he did not keep his feet in. Well, there was no signal by the officials. They talked about it. It looked like one thought yes and the other thought no. And let's see if the Browns throw the red flag, and there it is. Rob Chudzinski just threw the red flag, so they'll review it. 9:41 to play here in the fourth quarter. Hey, this is a big play considering the Browns are down 4.
Cleveland is challenging the ruling on the field of an incomplete pass.
So we've got a challenge. Take a look. See what you think as we go to break, and we'll talk about it more when we come back.
Today's game is sponsored by Ram Trucks. Guts, glory, Ram.
Well, back here in Cleveland, this is a huge play that they're reviewing at this moment. Heath, take us through this and tell us what you think.
Well, it's 25 yards is what they're trying to get for a first down. Little goes up. You're going to see the catch, strike with the left foot, right heel hits. But the one question I have...
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands incomplete pass.
Cleveland will return to their first team timeout. And folks at home, especially Cleveland Browns fans, before you erupt, here's the thing you can't see. When that right heel struck the ground, I think the left foot had already drug out of bounds. And there was an ever so slight shift in the football in Greg Little's arm as he was coming down. It was very, very, very slight shift, but maintaining possession of the ball as well as both feet being in bounds.
Bob Boylston is our replay official, and you heard Walt Coleman come up with a decision. So now it's 3rd down and long for the Browns. 9:41 to play, fourth quarter. Whedon out of the backfield. Obadiah will get up to the 32, but he's well short of the first down. Chris Houston with the tackle. Boy, that was a tough call to make.
That is one of those where the physical evidence, I'm not sure, was enough to overturn it, because I think when that right heel struck the ground of Greg Little,
that's a good point.
The left foot might have already drug out of bounds. And it's, you know, angles are everything. So close to call.
Well, 4 possessions in the second half for the Browns, just 1 first down. Spurlock back deep to receive this punt. It's hanging up there pretty good. He'll take it at the 24. Flags come flying on the sidelines. That's because somebody was shoved out of bounds on the coverage. Hazel with the tackle. The Lions right now have it first down and 10 from about the 26. It was a 44-yard punt and just a 2-yard return. Flag went flying. Hat came off. And Walt Coleman will let us know what the decision is by the officials.
Unsportsmanlike conduct, number 24 of the kicking team, did not come back in bounds immediately. That's a 15-yard penalty from the end of the play. First down.
Well, Bonamosi called for the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. This is a play that they'll talk about, particularly if the Browns don't win this ball game, for quite some time. Well, Matthew Stafford has the lead, and now the ball. It's the second best field position for the Lions to start a drive in this game. They were down 17-7 at the half, and they have taken a 21-17 lead with 14 unanswered points. The handoff goes to Reggie Bush. Bush has a blocker. Boy, Pettigrew gave him some room. And he gained 3. So Reggie Bush, Lisa, may be getting a lot more of the burden because Joique Bell is no longer on the sidelines.
The Lions rushing him into the locker room to evaluate a rib injury. They would not confirm on if he's getting x-rays or not. What I can tell you is when trainers were putting pressure points on his ribs, he was grimacing in pain. They tell me his return is questionable. I'm going to tell you, though, he was frustrated and smacked his hands together. He did not look like a player that was going to return anytime soon.
Well, you think about, Lisa, what he and Reggie Bush have done combining in the backfield today. It's been a great weapon for the Lions. The Browns have not allowed a 100-yard rusher this year, but the combination has really proved fruitful. And there's Durham with another reception inside the Browns territory, a gain of 17. Robertson makes the tackle. So I guess no more questions about whether Matthew Stafford can find another receiver other than Calvin Johnson.
Well, he has found Chris Durham today. You're going to see, he's going to come in here, just sit in here, and you'll watch Matthew Stafford. He's going to give him that stupid little sidearm. I call it stupid because it frustrates defensive coordinators because you can't bat the ball down. He's slicing it literally at waist level of the D lineman, zipping it to wide receivers.
8 catches, 83 yards for Durham. On first down, the handoff goes to LeSure, and LeSure lowers his shoulder and gets down to the 35. It's a gain of 4. And it'll be second down and 6. So LeSure with 2 touches today.
Right.
Maybe he gets more action here in the fourth quarter.
Well, I think the real task for Mikel will be if he's called on to protect for Matthew Stafford in the third down situation, an area of weakness for him, sometimes the middle blunder. A very capable ball carrier, Theo Riddick today. The fourth back is down. He's normally your special team standout, and so Mikel gets called up today. I'll say he's been productive when he's been in there.
2 carries, 9 yards, but also some blocking schemes. Reggie Bush, 13 carries, 67 yards. He's in the backfield. He'll take the handoff, dances away from Mingo, and then slides inside. Screen makes the tackle. It'll be third down. Let's check in with Joel Klatt. Joel?
All right, Tom, let's go back to Baltimore. And Joe Flacco leading his team down the field. He finds Jacoby Jones, first game back since week 1. First TD of the season. Baltimore cuts it to 6. 16-10 Packers in the fourth quarter. Tom.
All right, Joel, thank you very much. I think the Ravens have missed Jacoby Jones, not only receiving-wise, but also return-wise.
Well, and speaking of dancing touchdowns, I mean, Jacoby's always good to give you some good dances when he scores.
On third down and about 4 from the 33 of the Browns, Stafford out of the shotgun. Play clock down to 3, throws to the middle, incomplete. T.J. Ward defending against Calvin Johnson. And Johnson's thinking that he was interfered with as that pass went through the middle.
Well, T.J. Ward was in a great position, but, Stafford had a lot of pressure coming at him. Ray Horton dialed it up. Listen, I think that's good by T.J. Ward. You talk about a safety and coverage there. Good job. Matthew, all these quarterbacks, they always want the penalty, but Matthew, that was a good one, buddy.
All right, so David Akers is on for a 51-yard field goal attempt. He had a 53-yarder last week, so this is within his range. Good snap, good hole, kick is on its way, end over end, it is good. And the Lions lead it 24-17 here in the fourth quarter. Well, it's been all Detroit, and Jim Schwartz making some adjustments. He loved the leg of David Akers. Everybody that's come to First Energy Stadium has enjoyed this ball game, from the dogs to the birds to the fans. This has been a heck of a game.
That guy's hungry.
He is hungry. I think those dogs at halftime were hungry too.
Yeah, they'd be real hungry seeing that bird too.
24-17 the score. David Akers just connected on his 26th career field goal of 50 yards or more. Sam Martin will tee it up at the 35, and we talked about the pressure that's on Brandon Wheaton and the rest of the Browns offense. Now they need to score with 6:04 to play. Greg Little has not had a chance to return anything this afternoon. He's back deep to receive. He may get a chance to return this one. This one is 4 yards deep, so he's coming out. Trying to follow a blocker on the outside, and he's shoved out of bounds shy of the 20. Darius Slay with the special teams tackle.
I will never understand this, Tom. 3 years ago when I was playing, you kicked off from the 30. And the rule of thumb for the returner was if it's more than 4 yards deep, you never bring it out. Now you kick off from the 35. They're 5 yards closer, and guys bring it out from 8 and 9 yards deep all the time. Now you're starting here at the 16-yard line. That's 4 yards of field position. I understand trying to make big plays, but I think the math, just do the odds, keep the ball in, take a knee, get the ball to 20.
I think that's it. I think it's partly, the ego of the return man.
Well, and I love the aggressive nature of those guys. I mean, can understand that, but it's complementary football. What's best for the team?
Here's Whedon. His first throw on this drive is a first down to Gordon. Out of bounds at the 31. Chris Houston in on the coverage. It's a gain of 15, so that's 48 yards in the second half combined for the Browns.
Well, these are the routes that Brandon is so good at throwing. That deep, strong arm. You know what? He gets in there. That's a tough ball to throw. He zips it in there. This is where Norv constantly trying to balance of, hey, call a game plan, yes, but keep our quarterback hungry and really comfortable making throws that he can make.
One INT so far today. Whedon's under pressure. He gets rid of it, and it's tipped and nearly intercepted again. Willie Young was in on the pressure, and the ball was nearly intercepted by Bill Bentley. I mentioned Whedon had a streak of more than 100 passes completed without an interception that ended today.
Well, Bill Bentley, this is one where this is why Bill Bentley's a DB and not a wide receiver. That should be an interception for Bill, a second-year player. This is a raw player with a lot of talent, but still kind of growing into the talents the good Lord gave him.
So second down, Obadiah checks in for the Browns. He's in the backfield. Cameron, who's been quiet today, is in motion for the Browns. Now he'll get the pass play. And it's a quick gain. He's out of bounds at the 37, so a gain of 6.
Well, he has been quiet today. I mean, I believe that's his second catch of the day, if I'm correct. You know, he's had 2 false start penalties that have been costly on drives. And, you know, this is a guy that, you know, we were speaking of Bill Bentley just a second ago for the Detroit defense, developing into his talent. You know, Cameron falls into that same classification, a guy that's got a lot of growth and has made some special plays so far this year.
Had some conversations this offseason with Tony Gonzalez to try to learn the game a little bit more, learn being a tight end on the NFL level a little bit more. Whedon with a quick pass, complete to Gordon, who's at midfield and inside the Lions territory. Well, Josh Gordon with just sheer power, able to catch that ball on the slant and gains 18 yards. He's over 100 yards receiving this afternoon.
Well, this is just a little skinny post, and, you know, really another one of those passes that, excuse me, it wasn't even a skinny post, it was a little quick slant. Gets in there, bodies up the DB, I believe it was Darius Slay, and that's just easy pickings for Brandon Whedon.
So Whedon with a first down, dancing around, he's under pressure, just flips it, and it is intercepted. A poor decision and the second interception of the day for DeAndre Levy.
Well, the dog pound's not so happy right now. Again, a spectacular play by Levy. I don't want to take anything away from him, but this is the things that Brandon Whedon has done. We showed you a little bit ago what Stafford does in the fourth quarter and then what Whedon does. This is a Brett Favre type play by Brandon Whedon. Escapes the pressure, kind of shuffle passes it out there, trying to make something happen. Chris Obadiah just too far away. DeAndre Levy sees it the whole way, breaks in front of it. Whedon trying to do too much. This is where you just got to manage the situation, because now this Detroit sideline, the momentum, it's all theirs. Fourth quarter, 4.5 minutes left, 24-17. Matthew Stafford, the way he's played in this fourth quarter, it might be more than 24-17 here in just a second.
One of the things you talked about during the outset of this ball game was that Brandon Whedon just can't lose this game for the team. He has to be efficient. You know, he has to help them win the ball. Just can't lose the game.
Well, and what did Chud, you know, praise him to Lisa about at halftime is that, you know, he's being a good manager. He's taking care of the ball. He's doing the things we've asked him to do. And listen, I understand trying to make plays, they happen. But, you know, as a quarterback in this league, these are the areas where you're judged on. And he's played well today. That's his second interception. The first one was just spectacular by DeAndre Levy.
On first down for the 49 of Cleveland. The Lions with the lead, handed off to Reggie Bush. Trying to chew up some clock. Bush bounces off Buster's screen and then goes forward for a couple of yards. It's a gain of 3. It'll be second down and 7. Mingo is credited with the tackle.
Great run by Reggie. Shows up as 3 yards, but this is one that, you know, he could have lost. You see Buster Screen coming there. Hey, this is why we wrap up in the NFL, Buster Screen. Reggie Bush, the balance, the stability, the vision, you see it all there. 3 yards on the stat sheet, but could have been a negative run that Reggie Bush's talent got him out of.
72 yards on the ground for Bush. He also has 49 yards receiving this afternoon. On second down, Stafford to throw. He throws to Bush. Pass complete for a first down as he slides out of bounds at the 33. Robertson in on the coverage for the Browns. Well, at times he's been the best athlete on the field today.
Well, again, it's man-to-man. You see Craig Robertson. I've said it again. I know Ray Horton, you got to pick your poison with all the weapons that come at you from Matthew Stafford in this offense. But, you know, and I can praise Craig all day long for his athleticism, but Robertson on Bush, it's a matchup that as soon as you saw Matthew Stafford saw the matchup, the one-on-one single on Reggie Bush, his eyes never left Reggie Bush because he knew he'd win.
20 touches today for Reggie Bush. He's above his average, his total yardage per game, and now flags come flying in a false start.
71, offense, 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
But a pretty clean game from an offensive line standpoint for the Detroit Lions. That's Riley Reith, the second-year pro out of Iowa, who's called for the penalty.
They've done a good job, and I can't overstate how big and physical the defensive front from Cleveland is. I mean, you know, between Ataba Rubin and Phil Taylor and Desmond Bryant. I mean, Desmond Bryant, 6'6", 310, and then Phil Taylor in the middle, and his third year out of Baylor. I mean, these are just big mammoth men that are tough to block, and they've protected Matthew well today.
First down at 15. Play clock is down to 5. Stafford out of the shotgun. Here comes the pressure. Quick toss, incomplete. Durham was the intended receiver, and I don't think he realized it. Chris Owens was in on the coverage. It'll be second down.
Reggie Bush came over in the backfield to protect. I'm not sure, you know, what Durham was thinking. He's going to go out and try to block. You see he's going to square up on Chris Owens, but it's almost like he thought maybe Pettigrew was coming behind him in a screen, or maybe Reggie Bush was coming out of the backfield in a screen to that side.
Calvin Johnson is off to the slot to the left. Empty backfield on second down and 15. Here comes the pressure, and the pass is complete to Pettigrew, who's short of the first down. Paul Kruger was coming right into the face of Stafford. T.J. Ward made the tackle on Pettigrew. It'll be a manageable third down.
Team timeout, Cleveland.
Well, we're at that point of the game where the Browns need to think about these timeouts.
Well, this is where, you know, Ray Horton again, it was a second down situation. He dialed up the pressure. Brandon Pettigrew was able to beat man coverage. And Matthew Stafford just dices that ball in there again. Now you've got a manageable 3rd and 3 situation, and this really limits the capabilities of the Cleveland defense. It's a run situation with Reggie Bush. It's a screen situation. It's a shot situation. You've got your whole offensive playbook at your disposal here, and really makes it tough for defensive coordinators.
Well, the other thing that's important is that the Lions, from a Lions standpoint, is that they are within field goal range right now for David Akers. They're up by 7. A field goal could be a backbreaker with 3:01 to play.
Come up with a 2-score game, and David Akers has already hit, you know, from, what was that, a 50-yarder earlier, and so you're more than in a manageable distance for his leg.
Third down and 3. Stafford just assessing. To the triangle of receivers off to the right. Long snap count, trying to set up something in the middle, and it's incomplete, intended for Calvin Johnson. Screen was in on the coverage, and here comes a late flag as Stafford is down on his back at the 45. Quentin Groves, excuse me, is going to be called for a personal foul.
Rubbing the passer, 54, defense, 15-yard penalty, first down.
What do you think there, Heath? I mean, it was interesting because the ball, I thought maybe there'd be pass interference.
Here's Quentin, and I believe there was pass interference. I mean, we'll go back and watch that here in a second, but here's Quentin Groves.
Oh, no.
You know, this is just where they protect our quarterbacks. There's a slight tilt in where he kind of tucks the hips of Matthew Stafford. They don't want defenders driving quarterbacks into the ground. I wouldn't say this is malicious. He lets go there, and you see the frustration of Rob Chudzinski. And on this one, I would agree with Rob.
Yeah,
I mean, there was that initial where Quentin kind of grabs the hips of Matthew Stafford, like maybe starts to drive him in the ground, but then he lets go, and you saw that. And listen, our quarterbacks in this day and age in this league, they're going to be protected to the highest extent. Easy first down, a given first down, I'll say, for the Detroit Lions.
Well, this is a huge play with 2:58 to play. The handoff goes to Reggie Bush, running right, dances a little bit more to the outside and down to the 13-yard line. The clock continues to run. Kruger and Ward make the tackle.
Well, we start to see some of the frustration between this Cleveland defense. They don't like giving up these points. They don't like giving up these little chunk runs to Reggie Bush. Phil Taylor was in on the tackle there, kind of shoves Reggie Bush at the end of the play. If you start to see some of the dysfunctional break.
And final team timeout. Cleveland, 30-second timeout.
This is where the more mentally disciplined team will win ball games. And we've seen Detroit, who is normally on the losing end of this. They've been the ones in years past to make those stupid penalties and dumb mistakes. Now we see a little frustration growing from the Cleveland Browns.
Well, with that timeout, Jim Schwartz gets a chance to chat with his offense, along with Scott Linehan, the offensive coordinator.
Well, here's the play again. Real time, Quentin Groves off the corner. It is literally ball release, hit. My speculation is that Walt Coleman and his crew thought that he drove Matthew into the ground. I don't think it was a late hit. I think it was exactly what they called unsportsmanlike conduct, where they thought he probably tucked his hips and tried to drive him into the ground.
Because it almost looked as Matthew was getting ready to throw, he had already released his body toward the quarterback.
I would agree. And so I think it's just they made a judgment call based that they thought Quentin, tried to lunge him or thrust him into the ground.
Well, it's a whopper of a call right now because it's second down, deep inside Cleveland's end. The handoff to Bush, runs right, moving the pile inside the 10, and they'll mark him just shy of the 9. Rubin will be credited with the tackle. A hat comes off.
Well, first down, 3 yards, Reggie Bush. Second down, 3 yards, Reggie Bush. Now you're back in this 3rd and 4 situation where, again, you're playing an offense that shows they've been willing to run the ball. You've got a back in there that you've got to look out for in the run game as well as the pass game. And, it's that this is the comfortable factor for Matthew Stafford and Scott Linehan about, hey, this is the manageable down and distance, and now Cleveland's playing the clock.
Yeah, the clock at 2:10 and counting, and Stafford will take it down to the 2-minute warning, or at least call a timeout because the play clock was down to 1.
First team timeout. Detroit, 30-second timeout.
That'll take us to 2:05 to play. Stafford's thinking the play clock started a little early.
He was giving us that good kind of pushing the hand to the sky, wanting that thing reset, but no luck from Walt Coleman's crew.
All right, so it's 3rd down and 4, but more importantly, the Lions are well within field goal range for David Akers, and if they're able to connect with some more points, it's a 10-point lead, and Brandon Weeden's just not going to have enough time in this 4th quarter, and his interception is one that they will talk about as this week moves on.
Well, this is where you just manage the game. If you're Scott Linehan and Jim Schwartz, you probably take Matthew Stafford. The ball is on the right hash. You find out where David Akers wants to kick from. If it's the right hash or left hash or dead square in the middle, you do a little quarterback sneak, let him center up the ball on 3rd down, go to the 2-minute warning, come back out, and make this a 2-score ball game.
Reggie Bush in the backfield with Stafford.
Doesn't look like they're going to take my advice. I think they're going to go for the jugular.
It does look like they're going to go for the end zone, or at least the first down. The shotgun is Stafford on 3rd down. They need to get across the 6. He's throwing toward the end zone, and once again it's a touchdown to Fourier, his 3rd of the day, and it's a brand new dance.
It was a new dance, but it was too close to the first dance we saw of the day. I'll give you a high score on the touchdown catch, the adjustment. Listen, look at the height differential right here. This is what Matthew Stafford sees. T.J. Ward, I know Ray Horton's trying to pick his poison, but T.J. Ward doesn't stand a chance on this right here. And then, is that off Pee Wee Herman from like in the 80s? I'm not sure what that is, but he needs work on that one. I prefer the windmill dunk we saw on touchdown number 2.
I would agree with you on that one. Fourier with 3 touchdown receptions. Stafford with 4 touchdown passes. Akers on for the point after to make this a 14-point game. It is good. It is 31-17. Lions on top. They've outscored the Browns 24-0 in this second half.
Wow. Talk about halftime adjustments. Cleveland had taken complete control of this ball game going in at halftime. They get the ball to open up the second half. 3 and out. Detroit goes down and scores. Has not looked back ever since.
Well, the other part of this too is, Fourier, they said with Scheffler out for today's ball game, would get more action.
Yes.
Now, he hasn't gotten more action between the 30s. He's got more action from the 20 to the end zone.
Well, you know what? I think he's chasing like Mike Vrabel's record of catches that equal touchdowns. And so, 3 catches today, 3 touchdowns. It's just astonishing. But this is the trend of this league, and we've known, about Scheffler and Pettigrew, and we know the trends across the NFL is tight ends and the mismatches they create. I mean, Jordan Cameron for the Browns. I mean, that's what he's been able to do through the first part of this season. Not so much here today, but that is a big tight end that knows how to adjust to the ball in the air, and he's had a special day.
Well, your point too about the height difference between he and T.J. Ward, and you pick your poison.
Right. When you give up a foot of height differential, most of the time that's a tough battle to win.
Fozzie Whitaker back deep to receive. He'll take his knee. The Browns will have it first and 10 from the 20. Fourier with another touchdown, his third of the day. And Stafford, well, with a 14-point lead, 2:01 to play here in the fourth quarter.
Well, and Stafford was just given a hug by Corey Hilliard, who stepped in today for Fox, the right tackle who was out. Corey Hilliard has played extremely well today, and we've seen Matthew very few pressures today from a defense and a defensive coordinator of the Browns and Ray Horton that normally apply a lot of pressure on opposing defenses.
Brandon Weeden out of the shotgun on first down to the middle of the field. Pass is complete to Little, and he's just shy of the 30, so a gain of, we'll give him 10, so a gain of 10, and we have reached the 2-minute warning. 1:54 to play. It's been the Fourier story today. 3 touchdown catches today. 1:54 to play here in the fourth quarter. A couple big plays in the second half. The pass to Little that was ruled an incompletion, and the challenge, and it was held up that it was an incompletion, and of course the interception by Brandon Weeden in this fourth quarter.
Yeah, the interception, none more crucial than that.
31-17 the score. Weeden out of the shotgun on first down, trying to get something going here offensively. Sue chasing him down, and the pass is incomplete. Let's check it with Joel Klatt with a game break. Joel?
Well, where Thaddeus Lewis, he's going to find Marquise Goodwin late in this ball game inside of 2 minutes for the touchdown. They tie it up at 24, and Cincinnati and Buffalo are in overtime. Great game there. Tom.
All right, Joel, thank you very much. Boy, Thaddeus Lewis feeling it a little bit today.
I mean, E.J. Manuel might be sitting at home feeling it a little bit too, the way he's played today. I might have gotten a little ahead of myself there, but Thaddeus has played well today.
On second down, Weeden to throw again. Pass complete. Oh, incomplete, excuse me. Obadiah had it and was trying to run for the first down before he corralled it. Well, Matthew Stafford, 24 consecutive points scored in the second half. He's thrown 4 touchdown passes in a game for the 7th time in his career.
Well, he's just, like we talked throughout the course of the game, the maturation process, getting to kind of see it in front of your eyes, and his connections today. I mean, 3 of those touchdowns to Joseph Fourier right there, your undrafted rookie free agent out of UCLA. Unbelievable.
Getting a chance to play today with Tony Scheffler out with a concussion. On third down, Weeden to throw again. Pass complete to Cameron, his tight end. Cameron trying to get to the first down, but he's a yard shy.
Well, obviously you look at the score, a minute and 30 left. Your hope is slim and your chances are slim, but they need to be more aggressive, taking shots down the field than just dinking and dunking. 4th and 1 here. We'll see what Noah Kerner's going to draw up. You've got a size mismatch across the board with Gordon and Little. Find a way to get those big horses the ball. Obadiah on the little draw play to pick up the first down. Good safe call.
And they'll move quickly up to the line of scrimmage. Again, it's a 14-point lead. It would have to be a miracle for the Cleveland Browns.
You got to score quick and get that onside kick, and then anything can happen.
On first down, Weeden to throw to the middle of the field. Obadiah has it for first down inside Lions territory to the 40. The Browns have no timeouts left, so this is just trying to end the game on a positive note. In fact, the Lions are substituting defensive linemen now. Devin Taylor checks in, and I think they have to burn a timeout. Weeden spiking the ball, excuse me. So it's second down and 10.
You see Israel Adonijah and Ndamukong Suh. Some heavy breathing going on there. Suh's been working hard all day. This front 4 haven't had a lot of help with pressures and blitzes and dogs. It's been these 4 getting after Brandon Weeden.
Yeah, the Browns with 363 yards in total offense. A lot of that came in the first half. The second half, it's been all Detroit. On second down, Weeden to throw. Dancing around in the pocket. Under pressure. Thrown down. He loses the ball. It's free, and it's picked up by Rainey. And Rainey running to the far side of the field, out of bounds at the 28.
Looks like
I don't think you could advance that.
They are marking him down.
Because he threw it forward,
well,
it looked like.
Yes, well, I'm not sure. We're going to.
Oh, yeah, he threw it forward.
He did throw it forward. The only one that can advance that ball would be Whedon. The one that fumbles the ball is the one that can scoop it up and advance it. Otherwise, it's
We have
marked.
a fumble on 4th down. The ball comes back to the spot of the fumble. First down, Detroit.
Well, no, it was,
Second down. I mean, second down. Second down.
I was getting ready to help Wald out there. Should be 3rd down now,
Should be
not
3rd down,
second.
yeah.
He said 4th was the down. Obviously, a little confusion there for Walt Coleman. But, you know, as soon as Bobby Rainey scoops up that ball, that is where that ball would have been placed at.
You know, if the Lions wanted to review it, I mean, he did throw it forward.
Yes.
I know it's a fumble. That's what it was called, but he did throw it forward. 27 seconds to play here in the 4th quarter. Whedon throws, pass complete to Cameron on 3rd down. And Cameron running to the near side, out of bounds at the 23, make it the 22. So he has a first down. The clock stops 17 seconds to play. Gain of 33. I should say officials review, not the Lions reviewing it. So it'll be first down with 17 seconds left, and the Detroit Lions are going to head back home with a victory today. And let's face it, it was a very impressive second half.
Yes, it was. I mean, it starts, you know, despite the fact that, you know, Calvin Johnson wasn't active, it starts and ends with, you know, Matthew Stafford, the way they were able to really, you know, balance this offense with him being on somewhat of a pitch count in this offense that he played. Had a few impact plays, but not the, I think, the impact we were hoping he would have throughout the course of the day.
Pass was intended for Greg Little. It's incomplete, broken up in the corner of the end zone. It'll be second down. Chris Houston was in on the coverage for the Lions, along with Glover Quinn. We mentioned during the outset that someone was going to leave this ball game in first place in their respective division, and you can see how important it is to go 4-2 to start the season.
It's a huge difference.
Team timeout. Detroit.
It's not saying that the Browns can't make the postseason, obviously, but that is a drastic difference in percentage.
Talk about 23%. You know, how was that Auburn math there, Tom? I think it was pretty good.
That was excellent.
But well, it's because I worked on it last night when I saw the graphic in our meeting. But no, it is. Listen, you know, stats are, I think they're good for motivation. I mean, Cleveland, you look at their division, not sure how Baltimore was wrapping up today versus Green Bay, but another division that's, you know, I would still say up in the air. And so Rob Chudzinski's got this team heading in the right direction.
Don't forget, coming up, the Pepsi Game Break. Kurt and the guys will get you caught up on today's action around the league and get you set for America's Game of the Week. Glover Quinn, the veteran, came over from the Texans. What did he say? Came over from the Texans and wanted to play a straight-up safety position.
Well, yeah, I mean, he really wanted to challenge himself. You know, in Houston, you know, under Wade Phillips, he was in the box. He was covering a lot. He was doing a lot of different things. And, you know, Jim Schwartz still demands a lot of him here, but he does. He gets in that deep third. He has a lot of responsibilities on his shoulder. He is a main communication piece for this defensive backfield. And, you know, Jim Schwartz loves the addition of Quinn.
Well, 12 seconds left to play here in the 4th quarter. The Lions will improve to 4-2. The Browns will drop to 3-3. They were able to get through this afternoon's ball game using Calvin Johnson, but not overusing Calvin Johnson.
Well, and he didn't really demand the defensive coverages from Ray Horton that you normally see from other DCs. I mean, you know, Joe Hayden, you know, had him locked up man-to-man. I don't want to say had him locked up, but was in man-to-man coverage with him consistently throughout the game when he was in. And, you know, Matthew Stafford just didn't challenge him that often.
Johnson with 3 catches this afternoon for 25 yards. Devon Best with the reception there. Matthew Stafford finishes this afternoon 25 of 43 for 248 yards and 4 touchdowns.
I know Jim Schwartz here. He's looking at a game clock of 5 seconds. He doesn't want to give up points. That's all he cares about. The yards in the first half, he could care less. But they want this tackle here. Game over.
And they get that
triple
tackle.
zeros.
And why not? It's DeAndre Levy, who had 2 interceptions this afternoon, who makes the final tackle to wrap up Cameron, and that will give the victory to the Detroit Lions. A heck of a second half for Matthew Stafford and the Lions. as they win it this afternoon. This is Tom McCarthy along with Heath Evans and Felisa Byington saying so long from Cleveland, where Detroit wins it 31-17.